still consensually mine. One day we'll all opt out of the government. It'll crumble under its own dead weight. 'Cause dreams do come true. Darling, I believe in you. I'll always read you ain't out of vain. Come back and tap. I'll mine all the Bitcoin in the world. We'll never turn right or left. Taxation will always be theft. And you'll be my ANCAP girl. Come back and tap. These companies everywhere make me want to hurl. But our love will always be strictly voluntary. And you'll be my ANCAP girl. Yeah, you'll be my ANCAP girl. You'll always be my ANCAP girl.
Hi guys!
Hi, happy Friday.
Happy Friday!
Welcome to Liver Late Night.
I'm Mary.
I'm Dave.
Yes. Welcome to the show!
All right. Are the mics too loud? They too
Hi
loud?
everybody. Let's see who we have here. I see over on Float, Carl is there. He's also on Facebook too.
Yeah, he moves. He's
Hi.
got legs, baby.
Yeah, he's got legs, baby. Hi,
I know
Seth.
you've done something.
He's over there on Float
Who
also.
is Seth?
Seth, I noticed that I waved the wrong way. Like, I never know. Yes. Jaeger Starg, what's up? Oi, oi, oi. Hey, Ryan.
What do you mean? Wait.
Adam really needs a button, you know.
Oh. I
Yeah.
got like a couple empty spots. I could put it right
I
there.
know.
Too.
Ryan, though, he does have a button. He keeps getting wrong Ryan, though.
Oh, that's the wrong
Yeah,
one. I just heard
yep.
Ryan.
Wrong Ryan. That's all right.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Aaron's here. Hey, everybody. What's up, Gary? So you got Aaron and Gary buttons now, too, to push, Dave.
Oh.
All these
I keep
buttons.
zoning out.
So quickly?
Yeah.
You done messed up, AA
I
Ron!
don't know. I had a little bit of a sore throat this morning.
Oh, babe.
Is it my turn?
I hope not.
Who did I miss?
Gary.
Gary
coming
Gary's
in with
here
that
already?
crazy
Gary,
pigeon.
what are you doing here? You're causing a scene!
Oh, gosh. Was the intro fast? I don't know. Hi, Matt Lacey. Hello,
No, I thought it was
hello.
normal
Ryan
speed.
Seifert. So your button was already played. So is that okay? Are you cool with that? Joshua White, hi.
White.
Let's see.
Yes.
Yes. Is YouTube connecting? I'm not sure. Is it connected?
Yeah.
Okay, it is. Okay,
That's
good.
what's
Just want to
on
make
it.
sure. Hi, Lyle. Oh, no, you have a sore throat, too? Oh, no. Sorry, Lyle. Drew. Hello, Drew.
Hey, Lyle.
The acid reflux. I am actually feeling
Is it
more
a
like a
variant?
human today for the first time in like 7 days. It was like last week that I started with all this bullshit, whatever I caught, and it has been rough. And all three kids got it at the same time as me, and so I've never had that happen where it's like we're all four of us like not feeling well at the same time. Usually, hi Celeste, hello. It's usually like the kids will get it, and then I'll catch it after I'm taking care of all of them. They'll be like, 1, 2, 3. But it's never like all 3 kids plus myself at the same time. So
Omega variant.
Omega variant, yeah. It's the summer cold thing that's going around, and it sucks. But you'll hear them coughing in the background there. Hey, Vanilla, what's going on? But yeah, you know what? I'm feeling so much better. So I still got the cough and the stuffiness, but my head is actually clear. So yay for that, because I've been walking around like a zombie for like 5 days, just like
That'll do it, Ryan.
make sure the kids eat food, feed the cat, everybody's hydrating, cool.
Were you there the other night when we were watching that guy? And he's like,
sucking too
nine,
much
nine is a lot.
Oh my gosh, Tom
was pretty
Segura.
rough, yeah.
Yes, that was hilarious. Hilarious. Thank you, Drew. Thank you so much. Oh yes, we're your grill buddies? That's so exciting, Celeste. What are you making?
Was she grilling?
Let's see. I appreciate that, Drew. How are you feeling,
thank you.
Aaron? Because I know that you were having a little flare up with some things.
Low latency on Facebook tonight.
Uh-oh. No, wait, that's good. Is that
Yes.
good? That's good. I'm like, wait, nope. I feel like, oh my gosh, I seriously just felt like George in Seinfeld with the tumor, you know, and he's like, it's benign, and he's like crying, and they're like, no, that means it's okay. Like,
Carne asada
oh,
ribeyes.
oh, nice. Aaron, I want you to know, that Chris, we were making our regular tacos that we usually make, you know, our like white people tacos. And Chris was like, I don't want no tacos unless they're Aaron's tacos. I was like, all right, sorry. So we're going to have to do it up because Chris ain't eating regular crunchy tacos.
You gotta go to the right stores, Derek.
Oh, Derek, DMPA and their beer-free groceries. Yeah, well, we have 2 Wegmans, so
Wegmans
I don't know
has
where
them.
you guys
Tops has
stayed,
them.
but not every Tops,
Giant
though.
Eagle.
Not every Tops. I can't
Not
say
all
every
of them.
Giant Eagle.
Yeah.
I just know we have 2 Wegmans, and the 2 Wegmans carry them. So, yes, I'll let them know what you said, Aaron. Exhausted and fatigued, but other than that, it's good. Well, I'm really glad that you're feeling better, Aaron. Green tea, so Simon can float. Oh,
Green tree.
green tree. Yeah, he would totally just hang out. Carl, he really loves that little basket. And then I sent you that picture, him sitting in it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, there's stickers all over my window. And I was like, but you know we have kids, so there's like stickers like all over one of our windows. Because I'm a pushover, and I just don't care. After a certain point, I'm like, fucking whatever. Like, put stickers on the window.
Ryan.
You're not breaking things. Put stickers on the window. I don't care.
Here's what I've decided about the hard shell, soft shell thing is that the hard shells taste better, but the soft shells are more
awesome. Oh, they're actually
usable.
there, Gary? I'm sorry, what now?
soft shell, hard shell.
Oh, okay, we're having that talk. Okay.
You guys ready to have the talk?
I'm a hard shell girl. Yeah, hard shell are best.
They taste
and I will
better,
die on
but,
that hill.
but the soft shells are like everything stays inside, and when you take
I
a bite,
know.
you get everything.
I know. Well,
In one
listen,
bite.
if you work your neck right, you can get a bite of everything.
Unless you
in
use
the-
those tiny little
the
tortillas.
Yeah, oh, those are, I like those ones. I wish they made. Oh, what if they made like little mini corn, like hard shells, you know, and you should be like 2 bites, you know. That'd be so cute, but that'd be hard
That'd
to
be a
fill.
lot of work.
That'd be a lot of work. Yeah,
Might as well get
never mind.
those dips, those Tostito dips. And just
Oh,
make a
there you
tiny
go.
little
Yeah,
taco.
the cut. Yes, I've done that before. Matt Lacey says that Wally World and Harbor Creek has beer. I did not know that a Walmart around here carried beer. What?
Corona
Went to
Olympics.
Sanders Market.
Yeah, that started today.
I gotta
huh?
find out, where were you staying, Derek? My kid draws on the walls, and I don't care at all. My wife gets mad, but I think it adds a character, right? It's part of having kids, right? Jane used to take Dave around when she was like 2
Yeah.
or
I'd see
3.
something and be like, "What is this?" And she'd look at me and she'd go, and she'd take my hand and like she's touring me through her exhibit in the art museum
Yes.
of all of her art on the walls
Yes.
throughout the house.
Not like hanging.
Hmm?
No, not hanging
No,
papers, actual
painted
art.
directly
Like,
onto the
yeah,
wall.
right.
Taco.
Oh, the taco cones. We talked about that before because we thought that was a really good idea, but someone else already came up with it. So I'm sorry I'm missing comments, guys. I don't mean to. I'm still a little off, even though I feel, like I said, like more of a human today than I have in the last like 7 days. So
Hey, thanks, Jaeger. He says, I shared your
thanks for
Cuba
checking.
Facebook Live event with the city councilman for Mill Creek,
Oh.
Washington, and it inspired him to write a great post. I will share it in my next comment.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm super excited. Yes, get the word out. Get the word out. That's why I'm so excited to have Diego here to talk about what he's been up to and what's going on. Poor David Gay was driving back to New York City to be part of this rally that he's been like coming and going and like pounding the pavement, like driving the miles, like getting people involved, and then his van overheated today on the way there, and so he missed part of it, but he got there in time still to do
he's got no
be
luck
part
with,
of the
with cars.
I know, to be part of the rally, and it was really amazing. Check out Liberty Memes Returns if you want to see the pictures.
Whoa! You posted the whole thing
of what they did. I mean, they had like a raft, like what people would build, like from Cuba, like to leave the island, to flee, and stuff. It was it was really good. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to read that later. But I'm so glad that you shared it. And then anyone else who's in the comments who wants to take the time to read that, go for it. Absolutely.
We'll wait.
No,
we won't.
But thank you. I super appreciate that, Jaeger. That's awesome.
Let's do a quick malarkey before the wheel spin.
Okay.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
So there's a bunch this week.
Seth, I love that, Seth. Sorry, go ahead.
So
I don't even know which one it is. I didn't label it.
That's underway, just like the other question that's illogical. And I've heard you speak about it because I'm not being solicitous, but you're always straight up about what you're doing. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are, why can't the experts say, we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be, or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved, but permanently approved. Yeah. That's underway too. I expect that to occur quickly.
Well, that means you mean for the FDA?
For the FDA.
Yeah.
Oh God, I smell toast. Aaron.
So that dude followed it, I guess.
Let's see. Dude just says random words at this point. When Dave saw that video and I was listening to it, and I was like, I have to get out of here because this hurts my brain. And he's like, listen, but the guy who he's talking to, like they put, oh yes, Mr. President, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like they can't make him look. They're probably like, what the fuck? After the show, they're probably like, seriously, dude, did you hear how he asked me that question?
It's like his mouth is falling down the stairs.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I didn't bring down a thing. We'll save some other stuff for
hi
later.
Ben. Hi Benjamin. What's up? It really is some bullshit that they won't let us help. That's right. Yep. I'm sure it's to avoid tension between the countries, but still, yeah, fuck all the governments anyway. So, exactly, right, Seth? Yep. Oh, that gave me Forrest Whitaker eye. Seriously, it is. So, what, are you saving the other one for?
I don't know, you want to watch another one?
It's up to you.
The other one's pretty short.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Actually, let me bring down the freaking TV like I meant to do instead of just playing that over everything like a...
That's okay.
A rookie.
Ooh, a rookie.
Yeah.
Rookie.
We got the whole LLN news TV. All right, this one's really quick. Is this right? Yeah, this is right. Larky.
Oh, Derek, right. Hey, Kirk, what's going on?
And it's not working. Maybe it was already on. Oh, because I hit the wrong button. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
People who, in the Democratic Party, who want to run for president.
Are there people in the Republican Party who think we're sucking the blood out of kids?
I'm not sure. Are there people in the Democratic Party who want to...
Imagine if somebody said that to your face.
Are you worried that you're working in Tokyo?
Wow. Why is he thinking about that? Why is that the first thing that comes out of his mouth? Hey, Craig. Hey.
Do you think that there's people in the Republican Party who thinks we're sucking the blood out of kids?
Yes, and what was her question? Are there people in the Democratic Party? Oh, it was about the police.
Who support defunding the police.
Yes. You got to play Kirk's button.
Oh, Kirk's here.
Oh, Dottie. Hi, Dottie. I'm so glad I looked over there and saw it went by real fast. I didn't see.
How do they let him do that?
I don't know. I really don't.
Kirk.
Yes, Kirk's
Hello,
button.
Captain
yes.
Kirk.
Yeah,
But Joe isn't divisive. Yeah. It's true, Derek. They're like the big brother that's translating, the gibberish for the yes. True, Ben. That's very true. Yep. Yes, adrenochrome. Loud and proud, Dottie. That is the truth. All right, do you want to do the wheel? We're going to do both wheels. Did we take last week's movie off?
I'm sure.
Okay. I don't know if we did or not.
Had a problem with it before.
Okay, that's cool. And also, did you send a link to Diego?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, earlier. I should probably keep an eye on that too.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
All right, we're good. We're okay. Okay, so every week we spin a wheel and we give away a prize to one of our patrons to say thank you for supporting us. And this week we're giving away a fancy set of cards.
Yay!
I hope they're really nice because they're expensive for cards.
For cards.
Yeah. we don't spend a whole lot, but just a little thank you. So let's go spin the wheel.
Here comes the music, guys.
I turned it down a little bit.
You did.
I didn't want it because it seemed like it was overpowering last week.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Yep.
So yeah, if you watch the show, you like what we do, you have fun hanging out, and you want to encourage us,
sure.
Check out patreon.com/Liberty Late Night. A couple bucks. That's like the lowest tier is like $2.
It's the BRAP tier.
Crap.
You're so good at pointing in the right direction. You're just like over here, like.
Oh yeah.
And I'm always like. Meh. I didn't really.
I can drive a jitney backwards. So
yeah. It's the whole backwards thing that gets me. So.
Forklift
all right.
certified.
Hey, Mike Harwood,
I don't know
what's
if
up?
I mentioned that before in the stream, but I am forklift certified. It's kind of a big deal. All right.
Sploosh.
Here we go.
We'll play your button in a minute, Mike. It is, Ryan. I like it when it's overpowered like that. Yes. Rich Werner! Yay! Awesome sauce.
And we will find you.
Yes.
And we will send you stuff.
And we will send. Well, we'll just need your address so that Amazon can send you things from us.
Move the chats up.
Hi, O'Brien McDuffie. What's going on?
Oh, it's way down there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Most of the chat.
It's okay. We're gonna just do the movie wheel real quick.
Okay, yeah.
So,
let's do the movie
yeah. Yep.
Save that.
Okay.
This is the sloppy part.
Did you remove? Oh, you did. Okay. Yep.
Explain this.
Oh, hey guys, this is my part. Every Sunday night we have a movie night, and it's over on Float, FLOTE, which is where some of our other friends are on the chat. You'll see them. Awesome place to go. You're free to do what you want, and so we do movie nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. So come hang out with us.
All right, spin it.
Yeah, let's spin the wheel. And if you hang out for movie night enough times, you can suggest movies for the wheel, and we'll really take them into consideration. Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, so this is a new one, newish. I mean, and we have not seen this. I'm very excited because the soundtrack on that is going to be bangin'. We know Mary loves some Queen, so come hang out with us Sunday night on Float to watch Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm very excited about that. I forgot that was on the wheel. Yeah.
And we go back to bar.
Oh, I thought that said bringing down the house.
And
I was like, why the hell is bringing down the house on here? No. Terrible. All right. Yeah, I'm super excited.
Blockbuster doesn't have that one.
Hi, Jacob. What movie? Yes, you found out. You came right in time. I have not seen that, so I'm very excited. Yes, Carl saw it. Ryan saw it. Great movie. Spin Again, Blockbuster doesn't have that one. Right. Poor Blockbuster. Y'all remember? Blockbuster remembers. Pepperidge Farms remembers Blockbuster.
Yeah, their stock's rallying right now.
What?
No, I'm lying.
Oh, like they don't exist anymore, right? So of course it would. Awesome. Seth said he's been on a queen kick anyway, so perfect. Sounds good. So something ate all my chickens. What? They were abducted by aliens. I'm not really sure, but they're gone. Oh no. How big were the chickens?
Chicken sized.
I mean, were they like chicks or like adolescents or what? Yeah. Let's see. I don't know what.
Oh, Mike's button.
Yes, Mike's button. I don't know. Mike and Ben are having a conversation. I'm lost. You seen it? Haven't seen, but should have. Great category. Very cool. I'm glad you guys are excited. Mary, have you seen the documentary about the last Blockbuster? No.
There's a
What?
documentary?
There's a documentary? Of course there is. Of course there is.
Makes sense.
That does, yes. No blood or feathers. No sign of how anything got in. Wow. Okay, you need to turn that fan away from me. Thank you for putting it on me earlier. I was so hot, but now it's making my eyes water. No, I have not. Where can I find it, Craig? Do you remember when, for the Wegmans folks out there, do you remember when Wegmans had a movie section? But like all the stores did. Tops didn't. Tops never had a movie rental section. But I remember Wegmans having one, Giant Eagle having one. They were little chicks when I got them and were about twice that size when I put them outside. Oh, and they got taken. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Oh, it was good. Watch it. Okay, there's a miniseries. I wish I could do as a movie. Okay, let's see. There's still one more open in Oregon. Are you serious? There's still one Blockbuster open?
People probably pop into the Twitch chat and they're like, this guy's insane.
Oh my gosh. One Blockbuster open. I feel like we need to go to there. Just for our teenage selves, you know. It feels like I'm the only viewer because it looks like I'm spamming the chat. Let's see. Easter eggers have about a month more to growth. Okay, then they start laying eggs. I've never had chickens before. Oh, it's on Netflix. All right, I gotta check it out. Be Kind Rewind. That's right. Dottie's sad for you, Seth, because she has chickens. So.
She lost 3.5 hours.
Oh, that's so sad. Bohemian Rhapsody is one of my top favorite movies. Oh, I'm very excited then to watch it. I'm just silently reading Aaron's comments. All right, let's see. Mary has cheese fry sweats tonight. I was really warm when I came downstairs. I haven't been like
cheese fries
moving quickly a lot lately, like just because of how I've been feeling, you know. So like I was kind of rushing around, and I'm like, I'm feeling a little bit warm. So, would have hung out, but not a Plague fan. Yeah. So this thing that we caught ruined our last weekend with Martini coming in. He did not come visit, and then Derek and his daughters were going to come visit. Well, they came to Erie, but we didn't get a chance to visit or hang out at all because of this shit. So I'm really sad. I'm really, really bummed. Yeah. I hope you had a fun time though, Derek. I mean, despite the whole like beer not being served in every place. Let's see. O'Brien says that's probably how the last Blockbuster stays open. Nostalgic pilgrimages by 90s and early 2000s high schoolers. Yeah.
They got a few more years left in them.
Yeah. Yep. Why not? Do you want to check is the room just to make sure, see if he's there or not? Oh, okay. Where is it? Oh, that's the Zoom meeting.
Chinese Taipei.
Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. What are we calling it?
Jerry says, so apparently NBC is afraid to use the word Taiwan.
What?
No Chinese influence there.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. I think I've asked this before. Do you think Taiwan's its own country? I think somebody said that the people in it. I think I'm my own country. Yeah, the people in it believe it's in their own country then.
I'm sitting in my own country.
Yeah, me too. Let's fight.
Your border's getting pretty close to mine. You might have to invade.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh boy. The Echo variant, that's what comes after Delta. Oh, okay. Wow, my eyes are like super watery right now.
What's up, Joel?
The last Blockbuster is about 45 minutes. Yes, nice. From Vanilla. That's awesome. Do you go and visit often?
Wow.
What are we
Kurt got the epsilon in his left testy is 19 ounces now. So so is that bigger than the other two?
Y'all need to come to Mississippi. It's like regular America when you can do things still. Oh, Lyle, that would be fun. I've never been down that way.
Unless you have anything to do with like doctor's offices or.
I mean, are we talking just in general or like COVID related? Lyle, I meant, yeah. Let's see.
Me and Joel are working on our Spanish. I just can't speak any of it. I can read it. Okay.
I'm reading the comments, but I have to like go quickly. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, Joel. Hello, hello. Yes, Aaron, exactly. Which I think is dumb. China probably thinks they own us too.
You could drive the 45 minutes to the Blockbuster and get your free movie, but then you're gonna have to return it.
Yeah. Well, it's like a Redbox. Is Redbox still around?
Yeah.
Because $1. I thought that was the coolest thing. Like Redbox. Yes, awesome. $1 to rent a DVD, right?
And then we keep it for a week.
And then you take back like 5 days later, so then you end up spending like $4. So, and then they send you a thing like, oh, you get a free movie, you know, but still gonna be spending like $4. So
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, they are.
But when Diego comes on.
Yes, are you talking to Jaeger?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Diego's going to talk about stuff, Cuba, and what's going on. So hopefully. Now, when is that? The
I'm allergic to spending money on apps.
The 26th, right? Is that the communist holiday or whatever? I mean, that's coming up. So I'm excited to see what is going to happen then, because there's got to be something going on that day, you know, for sure.
I heard them. Oh, they were talking about Cuba today on the news this morning, on my podcast news stuff. But the only reason they're talking about it is because they want to have more. Words are escaping me today.
I'm sorry.
Sanctions on. But they're gonna isolate the Cuban leaders, and they're only gonna sanction them like.
Okay.
So stupid.
It is.
I'm gonna give you $50, but don't spend it on drugs. Groceries only, right? I promise.
Oh boy. Let's see. Ryan says he still has some movie kiosk posts. Vanilla said that they give you free tickets to like Blockbuster, but it doesn't go to Blockbuster. So Lyle, both. Basically, no one gives a crap in Mississippi. In the spring, people were still scared of the virus, but now it's back to not giving a shit. Seriously, if they try to lock down again or like do all that mask shit again, I think there's the people who are still scared, that who are like the core scared people, and then there's the people who didn't give a shit. You know, they were just like, fuck off with your masks and all that. And then there's going to be this like middle area of people who are strong. I think they're going to go more towards the fuck off with your government bullshit.
Lockdowns.
Yeah. Than last time. You know, there's still the scared folks, but then there's ones who were like, and now I think they just feel like, you know what? I have to live my life. I have to live my life. I can't do this again, you know? So, Aaron, just give the Cubans their vaccines, then they'll calm themselves back down. The media is so dumb. Let's see. Oh, Carl says a friend of mine would go to Mexico and trade a Walkman for some farmer's daughter. Oh boy. As soon as she started learning English, back to Mexico with another Walkman and trade her. Oh my, what? Oh gosh.
Wow.
Wait, Blue Cube, Brian, what?
I think I've heard of that. It sounds familiar.
See, there's 21 on Facebook. I don't know how many on Float. Benjamin was asking how many folks there are total.
22, it looks like. Well, I can't count Float. What is Float?
You can look at Float. Yeah,
I could.
Yep.
27.
All right.
Total.
Awesome. And then one on Twitch, at least.
One on
Aaron.
Twitch. Aaron owns
28.
Twitch.
And then I don't know, is anybody YouTubing?
3.
Yeah. Sorry, Jaeger's on YouTube, right? So do the math. No, what is that?
The more I explore Twitter and get to know like the podcasters and the streamers and everything there, and there's a shit ton of them.
Of what?
People creating libertarian content.
Oh,
like
yeah.
us. So it's like,
yep.
We got a pretty good audience here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, I know Vanilla.
Don't say that, Carl.
That's people need to leave the Facebook and get over to Float. It really is awesome. I love it, and they're growing and they're working on it constantly.
And we do a lot of our stuff is exclusive to Float because we can do whatever we want over there. So if we're feeling lazy and we just want to watch YouTube videos or comedy or music videos and stuff, we go over there and do that.
Yeah. Yep. It's awesome. I like it over there very much so because you're free to do whatever you want to do. So, oh yes, Carl, some of you are on both. Sorry guys, I don't mean to be like that sniffly person, you know, in
kind
the
of
room.
low energy
like,
because of it too. Plus I worked 12 hours today.
Yeah. Dave did. Today he left for work and he was like, well, I'll see you in 8 to 12 hours. And I was like, are you being forced? And he's like, no, but there's always a chance. And then doesn't he message me later in the day? And he's like, I'm psychic. I just got forced over. Like,
Forced
son of a
overtime.
Oh, that's right, Aaron. That's right. Wait, Ryan, what? Dave totally wants to do that. Peach juice running down his neck.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. Dave will just pick you up and lick it right off.
It's going on the list.
Oh boy, lick peach juice off of.
I like the picking them up part.
The picking, yes, yeah. We love you, Ryan.
$5, $5.
$5. O'Brien actually loves Facebook because that constant feeling that you could get banned at any moment, the suspense, yeah, it's like the thrill of, it's that, yeah.
There is something to that. That it's like you're over there, you're being bad. It's like when you're on float, you can.
We're waiting for him to pop in here,
You can literally do all
Ryan.
the things. Like Seth just said, he could literally teabag a screenshot of Mark Zuckerberg on live stream and.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even cut the stream. They might come in and give you a super chat.
I'm running my own gig right now,
crypto.
so no overtime. Oh, okay. Benjamin worked 12, but that's cool though. You're doing your own thing, right? That's awesome. Very cool. Do you want to send Diego a message real quick? I'm not sure where he is right now. I don't know if he's still in New York. I forgot to ask.
He's sailing to Cuba.
He's on his way to Cuba. Wouldn't that be some shit?
He's got the thing. I hope he has the right time zone.
I said Eastern, but I don't know. And then I found out, well, I'll save that for when he comes on. Because I had no idea that Dave and I were both...
Autoerotic censorship.
It says host has another meeting.
What?
It says that you have another meeting. Did you ever...
Oh! This was my test meeting. I was testing earlier.
Testing. Yeah, there we go. It's okay, Dave.
That's my fault.
You have a lot going on. Plus you worked over, which sucks, so... Well, when Ryan came to visit, we were jokingly asked if he needed a booster seat or anything. But it's all in good fun.
Loves that stuff.
Yeah. He loves it. I mean, if he didn't, I wouldn't do it.
What is?
Because I'm not that kind of person.
Just randomly, like
I can't. I always have to tell people I'm joking too. Like I say something to Dave and I'm like, I'm kidding, and he's like, stop it. It's making it less funny. He's like, I know you don't think I'm dumb, Mary.
Wait, make sure we have audio.
Oh yeah, let's see. Can you hear us? What's that? I saw a turn on original sound thing pop up there. Oh, connecting to audio.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Hello. Hi.
All right, let me get everything set
All right.
up.
Dave's going to bring you over onto the show right now. We're the only ones who can see you and hear you. Yes. So he's going to pull that nice TV down, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, babe.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Very cool.
All right, I can adjust it a little bit too.
Yay. All right, everybody. It's Diego Rivera back on the show. It's been a while since you've been on here.
In a minute, yeah.
Yeah. So how have you been? What's you're doing the whole like we're going to talk about Cuba in a minute, but what else has been happening in your life in the last has it been, like a year or more?
Yeah. So we had a really good year with Bring Our Troops Home, and you had OG, Pat McGeehan and Dan McKnight on.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And
thanks for setting that up.
Yeah, man. And so this year we put it forward in at least 31 states. So I've been working on that. So I'm not too mad about that because I think the year before that was 6, and then the year before that was 1.
Wow.
So
that's a huge
had
jump.
A lot of success with that. And then, just other liberty causes and helping people. a lot. I'm sure you guys have seen the libertarians out in Uganda.
I don't think I know about that.
Yeah, so I think a couple of them might be in the group, but those guys are fighting like hell, and just trying to help them out,
Wow.
so that they can get their stuff together, because they're also living in a dictatorship. And then there's liberty causes and candidates all across the country that we're helping out too.
Nice.
Libertarians in Uganda?
I
Yeah.
do not know about that. That is awesome.
Yeah, you should look up ALU. It's Africa Libertarian Union on Facebook, and you can see the stuff that they're doing. So it's like really cool.
Dave's. I think he's checking it out right now. Yes, Vanilla. Can you see the comments? Just you know us, like, so when we do these things, like, we're waving at people and stuff. We're not like crazy.
I know how this show works.
You've been here. Yeah, you've hung out. All right. So what are you back home now? Are you back in Texas?
I'm in Texas right now.
Okay.
Now.
All right.
Yeah.
Because you had gone to New York City for how long were you there when David?
2 days.
2 days. Okay. All right. And you guys, this was last week that you guys were doing like protests and stuff there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then today, now David was on his way. Did you know he was on his way to the protest in his van overheated?
I saw him there. I saw the pictures because we're in the same group chat. So I get the same notifications, and so I'm paying attention to what's happening.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So tell us about your, so you have family from Cuba?
How I'm 100% Cuban. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, now when did your parents come over? Was it your grandparents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so parents are from Placeta y La Habana, right? So Havana's the capital, right? And they both fled when they were, my father was like 14 years old when they fled here. And he got here, which is more, we can get into all this stuff later, but my grandfather had to spend 3 years on a slave camp, right, where they essentially are just stationed out in the fields working for nothing, cutting down sugarcane for 3 years, just to be able to buy himself out of the country. So, and like, these are places where you don't even see your family. Like, if you want to see your family, normally what they do is they put a potato sack over your leg. You just straighten out your leg, and then they hit you with a machete, because at least if you go to the hospital, you can see your family on like a holiday.
What the? What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because like what they would say is they'd straighten out their leg, they'd put the potato sack, and they'd say, how deep, and it's like deep enough to send me to the hospital. I want to see my family.
Oh, that's terrible. That is so terrible. Sorry, my kids are talking.
Yeah, that there's slave camps, 90, and this was funny, is that Miami is closer to Cuba than Orlando, and there's slave camps that are going on right outside.
What?
Yeah, and gulags.
Oh my gosh. What?
Yes.
This is, now see, I've learned that the public doesn't know. I mean, the general public doesn't know about the real Cuba, like what it's actually like for the real people. Like, they see,
right.
You go on vacation, or this looks pretty, or the tourist destinations and stuff like that they keep all nice and stuff. But the majority of Americans don't realize what the actual Cuban people are experiencing, and that blows my mind. Like, how do people not know? And it's weird.
So this is something that's and I think that the left is criminal on how silent they've been, but they've not been silent just now, but for years and years and years. And remember, it was like the New York Times that covered up for the Soviets, and they're doing it with Cuba too, because it's a huge black eye on their failed ideology. And so, we know the misery. Like when these criminals go out on Reuters and Bloomberg and all of these places, and they say that they're protesting over vaccines, and it's like, no, we've been talking about this. It's literally in our songs, in our poetry, in our artwork, in the stuff that we write about, that we talk about. I mean, they just had an award show last night with, Yotuel and Gente de Zona, which is a group. And on the images in the background, it just says Libertad, 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 which means liberty. And it's just liberty. And it's all over the background. They do it. SOS Cuba, Libertad. They're screaming liberty.
Mm-hmm.
They've been screaming out liberty for, 60 years.
Yeah.
Right? And the left will come out and say, oh, it's because, they can't get vaccines. That is 100% correct. They cannot. But if it's delusional and it's a lie to say that it's about the embargo, that it's about vaccines, like there's like if it's the worst and most naked propaganda I think I've seen yet.
Wow. That's just.
Didn't somebody actually say it was about
they're not educated.
It was about a sports game or something.
Oh, didn't Venezuela go on TV and say like, "Oh, they're excited about soccer. That's why they're in the streets. That's why they're in the streets."
Right.
Says the other communist country.
Yeah, exactly. You would expect that from Venezuela, but then from the United States, Reuters says that it's, about the pandemic, and Bloomberg says that it's about vaccines. Like all of a sudden they're taking off to the seas now. It's like, no. There's Cubans that are swimming 90 miles to get here decades ago. Like, so you can't pretend this was just
right.
Like, COVID did
this. Isn't just started. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's criminal what they're doing. They're blatantly lying. And what's horrible about it is they refuse to talk about it, but we're sitting somewhere between a revolution and a mass slaughter. So while they're covering up for these communist people, there's people in the streets that are dying. That I'm not sure if David talked about it when he was on the last time, but there's hundreds that have been kidnapped and that have gone missing. There's political prisoners. There's people being killed in the streets. So, I mean, I don't know what else to, and that's why I haven't shut up about it either. It's because, for some people, it's their hot topic, what they want to talk about. But for me, it's like, these are my people.
Right.
They're dying in the streets and no one's talking about it. Like, you guys are saints because of what you're doing and how often you're just, pumping that stuff and, letting everybody. And, I was just banned yesterday, but, David's been banned forever now.
Yeah.
And, they're banning us for talking about this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, even on PayPal, I guess if you say Cuba in the donation comment, that they hold the donation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
What does it matter?
Exactly. I don't know. My heart just hurts. Like it for, I have friends and family, or friends who have friends and family who are like the suffering that's been going on, but now it's like they're trying to stand up for themselves and they're getting murdered in the streets and kids are being ripped out of their homes or being forced to fight against the protesters and stuff. And it's like, I don't know. It is heavy on my heart. And I really feel like, David talked about it and I said, what can we do? Like literally, like I feel like helpless. And he said, talk about it, talk about it, teach the people, let people know what is really actually happening, that it's a big smokescreen that, Cuba is this wonderful place and, whatever. And it's not. It is not. Why would people leave? Why would they make rafts out of trash to leave? Right. That's what I just, I don't understand that people can't see that.
Well, I mean, that's why talking about it is actually pretty helpful, because there's people that have no idea about what's happening. If, like, for example, like the left, the useful idiots, not the people in power, but the useful idiots on the left are completely naked and blind to what's happening. And, there's people waking up to this. Like, I just saw a video today of like a Cuban girl that's now denouncing Black Lives Matter because essentially she found out that they were praising Marxism and all this stuff. So like, there's a lot of people waking up right now, but so I saw one thing on, left, news where they had Marco Rubio on, and he was on for 5 minutes, but 4 minutes and 30 seconds of it was, why aren't Republicans getting vaccinated? And the last 30 seconds was like, well, what's going on in Cuba?
Oh, wow.
And they're like, how, are they getting their vaccines? And he's like, are you crazy? But even still, the only reason the host is having Rubio on right now is because there's been worldwide protests everywhere. And I'm sure you've seen that post of all over this globe,
Yeah.
Europe, Americas, everywhere. There's protests. People with Cuban flags are out in the streets. And just because of that, they're doing their best to not have to talk about it. But the fact that it's, the protests are relentless, that people are getting back in the streets, like they will try to not talk about this as much as possible. But when it becomes like overwhelming and it's in their face and they're not covering it, one, that wakes some people up. But two, it forces them to at least have to start talking about it. Remember how long they covered for BLM and Antifa saying that they were peaceful people? It took years.
Yeah.
But if they wouldn't have talked about it, it wouldn't be a thing. And the right, Republicans are going to talk about it because they're going to love to beat the left over the head with this, but the left doesn't care about hypocrisy anyway, so it doesn't matter. But at least if they're talking about it, it's just out there and people are knowing and they're finding out, and like then you can start answering the questions like these executive orders that stop us from going. I'm desperately trying to get on a boat and get over there,
right,
to run resources, to do whatever I can for these people.
Yep.
But now Mayorkas, who's a Cuban, it's telling people, one, don't come over here. Two, if we think you're trying to go over there, we're going to arrest you, throw you 10 years in prison with a $25,000 fine.
That's ridiculous.
So, like,
why?
So you're not going to do anything for it. You're going to cover for it. You're also going to stop us from going there to try to help.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that the only thing we can do is just go, or just massive disobedience. So many boats in the water that they can't stop. But I have my bags packed. I'm desperately trying to go. Like right over here is bags.
Wow.
Maybe some guns, and we're ready to go.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I mean, yes. I can't believe that they're trying to keep people away from helping. I mean, but I can because the government
they've been doing it
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the government shouldn't exist. We all agree on that. And,
right.
But they're evil. Like, they've been doing this since the 90s, though. Once those 2 planes got shot down in the 90s, Clinton put that executive order, and every criminal after him has just doubled down on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So how is there something with that? I mean, because David said too, and it's true. I mean, I think for at least the majority of us here, it's not. We don't want like America going in there because
that's my
no
biggest
government
fear, but
intervention.
I don't think that's I don't think that's a real fear because of their team is pretty big too. So America doesn't want that big of a war.
But how do we like? Can we do something to raise awareness to like help?
And then somebody in the chat did ask, is there a credible place that we can send donations to? I know Dadman's taken donations just for his efforts in New York and New Jersey, but is there anything else?
Yeah, so there was one Cash App place that I saw that they're taking donations to, and that's you might have shared that same thing, where they're helping people with communications and getting them back in touch with their families. Aside from that, it's just really hard because the problem is that there's no banks to be able to send money to, and if you send remittances, I'm not sure if Dadman talked about it or not, but what?
Oh, I was just pointing to Nina. She was the one who was asking there. Yeah. But okay, so
yeah.
To send money.
The problem is that we're with remittances. They take money off the top, then they keep the dollars, then they convert it back into the worthless Cuban dollars, obviously. And then so when you have to buy anything else, you have to buy it in American dollars. So even if you're sending remittances, it's just going straight to the Cuban government, and then they're getting screwed because you're just sending money to help the communists out. So that's not even a viable way. There's no private banks. You can't send money. The only thing that has worked is if they're capable, and I don't even know how because they just shut off their internet, is crypto.
That's what I was just about to ask.
Yeah.
Because when you're saying that, it reminds me of like I'm on that, was that Coinbase or something like that, where you watch videos and you get free crypto, but like a lot of it is like cutting all these fees where everybody's taking money off the top, and it ends up costing more to send it than you're actually sending.
Very interesting. Yep. I'm reading Vanilla's about crypto.
A good one is Cardano. If they have access to it, Cardano is getting up to the place where you can do almost a million transactions a minute. Yeah. Where even Visa, I think Max can do about 17,000 transactions a minute. They're also more environmentally friendly, and it costs a whole lot less to move it. Where like Ethereum and those other ones cost an arm and a leg just to send.
Drew makes.
But that's
a good point here. We do not want to go in. I mean, we certainly don't want our government going in, and our government might not want to. But how do we? What about other government? Like, what about other countries? Like, do you think there'd be other countries that would try to go in and take advantage of this situation?
Yeah, 100%. And I think there is some credibility to the fact that, like, you know, it is completely possible for the Russian government to send 1,000 people over there. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Thanks, Todd.
But sure, you know, the Cuban government can ask, you know, other horrible regimes for backup. Now, I don't know if it'll happen. I don't want it to happen. But again, you know, essentially the left and their cabal has just made it a mission to not talk about it. So, and Joe Biden's extremely weak on this. There's worldwide protests, and he just recently said that communism and socialism are failures. And it's like, yeah, no shit. So, I mean, it took all of this, and that's the most that we got out of him. But he's extremely squishy. There was a protest outside the UN. You know that? I mean,
yes,
still, they're turning a blind eye to this. It's not convenient to their ideology. You know, they're watching everything that they talk about do it. And I recently even shared a photo of like how this stuff comes to power. And it's the same language that Bernie Sanders is using. Nobody comes in and says, hey, I want to be in total control over your life. I want you to hand over all sorts of autonomy.
Right.
And we're going to screw you over with hard dictatorship. No, it's like we need a job, security, you know.
It starts out
food and love, and
yep.
they come to you on the same. They talk to you like they're Care Bears.
Yes.
And you're just the monster. And it's like, no.
Yep.
But people need to see this stuff, and they're not. They've never seen it before.
You posted something.
You know what's going on, right?
I do know what's going on. Yes. I wish you had shared that, and it was about how like Bernie talks to the people now here, and it was something from Cuba from a long time ago, you know, and it was like so the same exactly, like, oh, we got you, you know, and everyone's like, oh, they got us, oh, you know, like, no,
security.
Like, be responsible for yourself, take care of yourself, you know, kind of deal here anyway while we still have the chance. But the folks there, so what are they? I mean, they have no weapons. They're not allowed to have any kind of weapon in Cuba.
No, Castro took all the guns.
And they're on an island. They're like on a freaking island. Like
yeah, that's a lot harder.
That is, I don't know how exactly miles wise, but you know, America obviously much bigger. You know, we can drive away from it at least for a couple days if. But how? Yeah. They're just going out there with rocks. I mean, seriously, and sticks on their own, and just
with rock.
That is really something. Hey, Candido, how you doing? Hi, yeah. They are unarmed. Okay, absolutely nothing. Yep. That's awful. And so, I mean, what do you think is next? What do you think is going to happen now?
Well, I don't know. It's so chaotic. And like I said, we're somewhere in the spectrum between revolution and a mass slaughter. The hardest part about this is just knowing that, and people know that, and they're still not going to say anything. Mm-hmm. Because again, it's the black eye.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And this is why I don't want people to slow down on the language and like I made a commitment to myself that I'm not going to talk about anything else other than this until we start getting some stuff resolved. So like even stuff that I'm seeing here in this country, that like infuriates me. I'm just not wasting. It's a metabolic waste for me right now because these are the people that are literally on the chopping block. And if we just shut up or talk about anything else, they stop talking about it. And so I don't care how annoying it is. I don't care how repetitive it is. I don't care how the rate of just talking about, I don't care. Like this is the only thing that should matter right now. It's like, this is life or death, and they're putting it on the line, and we should be backing them up. Cubans, but liberty lovers too. Is like these people are doing heroic stuff. They're risking life and limb to go out there and say screw you.
Yep.
That's poetic.
They're going out
that's
there with
brave.
a rock. Yes, they're going out there
with
nothing, or just going out there and
but
just...
those Cubans have a pretty good arm.
Oh, Dabin was saying about the baseball, you know?
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
I think genetically we're just superior players. Yeah.
Now, will you share a little bit about how your family, got over here, how your parents met? And I mean, the struggle of leaving, I don't even know what you have to like ask to leave the country. So obviously if you want to like flee, you aren't asking, you're fleeing, and you could totally, I mean, if you get sent back, I mean, you're going to be in big trouble,
Yeah, there's Big Handsome right there.
Diego, what's going on, my dude?
Hey!
Not much. Just looking at that cute face.
Oh, I'm gonna make you jealous.
Why?
Well, I'm in Queens right now, right?
And you went back. Oh no!
Mamoncillo, bro, Mamoncillo.
Oh, I'm so
and
jealous.
I got some of these in Union City yesterday too.
Oh, I love those. Those are my favorite.
Oh, Raja, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I knew you'd be jealous. This is a Cuban snack, guys. You guys have probably never heard of this. It's called guineps, and it looks like a little tiny.
Is that what it's called in English?
Well, it's called a guinep. Yeah, the Puerto Ricans call it guinepa, which is closer to the English word.
Oh.
But we call it mamoncillo, which means some little tiny thing that you stuck on.
Yeah. It's delicious.
If I had a nickel.
The little hairs get in your teeth.
Pop the top on it. Pop the top on it, and it's like a little orange fruit inside.
So, I do.
It's beautiful.
Mamoncillo.
So it's a
God,
fruit?
I'm so jealous.
What is it? Is it a fruit?
looks
Yeah,
like
this
lime.
is something Cubans will sit around for hours eating these.
Oh.
And it's got so much acid it burns the inside of your cheek, but it's just too tasty to stop doing.
Ah, yes.
Yep. I can house that bag.
I've never had those before. I did have
well,
Cuban bread for the first time in my life last month, so that was yum. That was the first time.
I totally like. I guess Big Handsome just threw me off, but I totally missed your question.
Oh, that's okay.
That's totally
this
fine.
is how it gets.
The show. I wanted to know how your parents, got here, because it's not easy to flee the country, let alone just to try to leave and go visit somewhere else.
My mother, my grandfather, and my mother all went to Spain. They had to go to Spain first in order to then start, applying to come over here, and that happened around 9. And then my father. Like I said, my grandfather worked on a slave camp for 3 years to buy him off the island so that he could come. And then they both ended up coming to New Jersey because that was the OG, Cuban, hotspot.
Wow. How did New Jersey become? I mean, that's so, maybe because it's so far away, they're like, let's just keep going north, keep going north.
It's because it's right next to New York.
Oh, okay.
It's actually because it's right next to New York.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I wondered how that happened.
Yeah, my wife's father got her out of Cuba also by, and I think I touched on this the other day, and I left this detail out. There was a special visa being offered for people who had been in the prison camp that my father-in-law was in, and he wouldn't have known about that unless he was listening to a radio broadcast from the United States that they're forbidden to listen to on the island.
Oh, wow.
And he just happened to tune in one night, and they said if you were in this certain camp by this certain name during these specific dates, you can apply for a visa to the United States. It was like the only time it was ever even announced on the show.
Wow.
But that's the power. And he said, well, wait, that's me. I can apply to come to the United States. And that's the power of being the counter propaganda. You never know when somebody's going to hear the message and it's going to apply to them, and they'll be able to do something about it. That's why me and Diego can't shut up about this. Mm-hmm. And besides the fact that Cuba is the #1 exporter in our hemisphere of communism to other countries, and they force their communism on other countries in really insidious ways. And that includes us here. This is our fight. And when people are like, well, U.S. goes under, then we're all going to hell. So I got to focus on American politics first. And I'm like, bro, Cuban politics right now is American politics.
I think.
I mean, it's
Go ahead.
And here's another thing too. I was at so there's in back in North Bergen, or maybe Union City. They do a little. All the political prisoners of the past, they do a picnic once a year, and we're talking about people that, were in there, were asked to denounce, or their ideology and accept their horrible, evil ideology, and they would refuse. And there's, these men are talking about how they put bayonets in their ribs and twisted the knife. And these men have seen this, and one of the biggest through lines in that, the biggest takeaway that you get, and you grow up with this, or you're not, but it's chilling because this part you don't grow up with. This part came about, as they said, what's most apparent to me here now is that Cuba's starting to look a lot like, or America's starting to look a lot like Cuba right before it fell. And that's one of the scariest things, is like they're calling it.
That's scary. That's very scary.
So people have to learn the lessons, and like the story.
Absolutely. It starts out with this idea that this is all just about social justice. It starts out with this idea, for example, in Cuba, it was the idea that it was for the workers. The workers were being exploited. The poor people were being exploited. And at the same time, once the revolution took over, they threw all the minorities into prison camps, and they threw the homosexuals into prison camps. And you see this here in the United States, where in Cuba, the current revolution, the current movement was inspired by Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah.
And it was black people in Cuba that rose up first, and it was hip hop artists. And now you have Black Lives Matter here in the United States saying, well, we're with the Cuban regime, so we really don't care that the Cuban government is directly oppressing the blacks right now. And so it starts off with this whole idea that, it's for human rights and not to marginalize anybody. And then they immediately dehumanize entire classes and races of people.
100%.
I got thrown off for just a second. I'm assuming that's
it's literally
joke,
it's what's happening right now.
Right,
and you're watching a lot of Cubans are rejecting BLM out the gate.
Oh,
They're like, nope. Like if you're a commie, you're a I don't care how much. And Cubans are great people. I mean, we grew up with there's Chinese, there's Afro-Cubans, there's everybody. There's not, nobody hates anybody else. And they're also not going to stand there and watch a communist come and tell them that somehow they're evil people. It's like, no, like that's not going to happen. So in a way, I almost hope that America can pick up a little bit of the spirit of the Cuban rebellion, with also like this ability to just push away, like when they come to you with dumb narratives of critical race theory or like Marxism in disguise in whatever sort of fashion, I would almost say do it like the Cubans do and say go fuck yourself.
So America has said that they're like the folks from Cuba are not allowed to like come over here and find safety. Is that correct?
Right.
Is that what's going on? That's
it's
terrible.
It's incredibly hypocritical because the person who first announced that policy was Alejandro Mayorkas, and he is the head of Homeland Security, and he was born in Havana. He was born in Cuba. His family had to flee. His family was granted special asylum status in the United States because they had to flee. The exact same regime that's still in power right now, that did all those things to his family, is doing things to people now, and he's telling them, don't try to escape it.
Yeah. And it started with Obama too. He ended wet foot, dry foot, where at least if you can make it here and you can touch ground, you were safe. But Obama ended that, and that image that I saw today at the UN where it said, they vote mostly Republicans, so let them die. Like, that was just horrible. Like that's not because again, Cubans overwhelmingly vote Republican because they just denounce the left.
So
that's one of the things that they
literally
started
don't give a
doing
shit
at the end of last election.
But
that was one of the things they started doing when the last election, when they were concerned that they might lose the election because the Cubans in Florida might mess it up for them. And so they started saying, well, we love all Latinos unless you're Cuban. And so they immediately started to marginalize an entire race of people. So now we're a few months later and there's an actual crisis where human lives are in jeopardy in Cuba. And those same people are like, well, we remember how you voted.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's really sick. It is really sick. They won't stand up for them because they're right wing. And there are people here in New York who say, well, I'm not going to get involved in the fight for Cuban freedom because that's a right wing fight. And instead of looking at it,
it's people. It's their people. They're humans.
completely separate from American politics. They have to attach some form of American politics to something that's simply humanitarian.
Oh my gosh.
There are people who are being murdered because of trying to exercise their right to free speech, to assembly, and to self-determination, and they're being murdered for it. They're being tortured and terrorized for it, and these people won't stand up for it because their favorite celebrity on the left didn't tell them that it's okay.
Yep. I saw a question there from Jacob, which is like, can they get the people internet access? And I think Salazar out of Miami is the one that's been talking about it. They're saying I don't have the knowledge of like how they would do it, but there's confirmation over and over again that they could get them internet, and also the Cuban people need to learn about VPNs.
You know what's funny about Cuba and getting internet is we know for a fact that they can get internet. We know for a fact that we have internet in Guantanamo Base, for example. The United States government has internet there. We have the capability to transmit internet Wi-Fi signals with VPN and through high flying balloons that are, it's not like a rubber balloon from a birthday party, guys. Anyway, there was an article about that, and they were like, well, what about the White House giving us, free internet to the Cuban people right now so that they can get information? And the answer from a White House spokesperson was, we're not entirely sure that will work.
Right.
We know for a fact that it works. We know for a fact that it exists. We know for a fact that the spy community uses this exact technology, and then they just write it off as silly because they don't want to do it. And then they go out and they say, okay, well, we're going to sanction, because this is new since the last time I was on. They say, okay, we're going to sanction individual party members who cause harm to people in Cuba or violate human rights. How the heck are they going to determine that if they're spending most of the time on TV saying that they've only heard that one person died?
Yeah. Yep. Carl wants to know if they have ham radio capabilities there. I don't know much about ham radios.
There were some Cuban leaders. So then there were some Cuban American protest leaders who were protesting, who were posting online in celebration because Biden finally recognized our struggle and spoke about it and said Cuba's communist system is bad and I'm going to sanction people who do human rights violations. And they're celebrating this. And what it does is it causes half of the protest movement to be like, well, he heard us, so we can go home.
Right.
Yeah.
To, stop.
It's crumbs.
No, that's why we can't let down.
We don't want individual sanctions on individual members of their government. We don't want their assets seized on individual members determined on a case-by-case basis. And by what commission? I mean, who is going to have a tribunal to determine exactly which violations constitute a violation of the policy that they've got so that they can seize assets? I mean, it'll take forever. We want an end to the Cuban communist dictatorship right now.
Right.
Tonight.
Amen. Yeah.
Right. We need more guys like that guy out in Spain who called it for what it is. That's what you need more of. And it was so good. He just came out swinging. He's like, the embargo doesn't stop the fishermen from fishing. The Cuban government does. They don't stop the farmer. They don't decommission the farmer. The Cuban government does. It doesn't stop them from stealing your money, giving you worthless currency, and then making you use it to buy stuff in American dollars. That's the U.S. government. The embargo is not the one that is taking children and making them teenage soldiers. Right? They're not taking 13-year-olds from their house and turning them into soldiers to go against their own countrymen. That's
exactly what I was saying on the show the other night. You'll be proud of me, Diego, and Mary and David and anybody listening. And somebody is watching, or maybe a couple people are watching who are at this. The other night we were in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And Elizabeth, New Jersey is a Cuban city. It's almost entirely Cuban. And the politicians there are all Democrats. And they gave a speech. They gave their little rally for Cuban freedom. And it was really just them giving political speeches so that their constituency would know that they heard their concerns. And the only thing they were saying was stuff like, we just want calm on the island. We want everybody to pray. And we just want everybody to be calm and don't call for violence because that's very irresponsible right now.
Wow.
And it's like, this is how you take the wind. This is how you take the wind out of the sails of the Cuban protest movement on the island, is to have people in America say, oh, I saw you turn that police car upside down. Don't do that. Oh, I saw you throw rocks at the police cars. Don't do that. We shouldn't do that. And it's because these politicians are they have a tightrope act to walk right
They're
now.
worried
because
about
they're
themselves.
Cuban Democrats, and they have to make sure that they're not calling for an insurrection while at the same time saying that the DC thing was an insurrection.
Right.
And then on the other hand, you've got the Democratic Committee who's looking at democratic Cuban cities and saying, we got to get those people back on the script.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee, because Diego, you and I have been in protest movements long enough to know that eventually someone comes along and tries to buy a few people out. And if you've got Democrat politicians, those are ripe for the pickings, where the DNC 100%. Can just say, hey, you guys need to have a little rally and get everybody to calm down and keep everybody on the Democrat side.
100%. 100%. They're just trying to be like, no, come on, everybody calm down. And this is like, it's kind of like, it's the same mentality as like when they're like, you don't need guns, is when you know you really need guns. It's like when they tell you, oh, slow down, let's think. You're like, when they start with that is when no. Now I have
Diego,
to double down.
Diego, do you know what we did? You know what we did? Because it was me and Candido, who's here watching the stream right now, and a couple others, and we were not taking it. So when he said that, I yelled out, "No aflojen," which means don't let up. We don't want the because these speeches were getting live streamed, and Cubans on the island that do have internet are watching live streams of all the different protests, and they hear this guy say, kind of slow down, everybody, take a break, don't do anything dangerous. And it's like, what? How did you take the wind out of their sails? So I screamed out, "No aflojen." And then at the end of the protest, or at the end of the political event, one of our people walked up and tried to take the microphone to just let people know that we were going to have our rally at the UN today. And the guy pushed her away and said, "No vamos a empezar con esto," which means we're not going to get started doing this. And he turned off the microphone. So she grabbed a speaker out of her bag and a microphone of her own. And
be prepared.
Everybody who really wanted to be there for a Cuban freedom rally, just circled around us while we gave our speeches and told people what was what. And we put egg all over those politicians' faces.
Good.
If you had been there, oh my gosh, you would have been like, wow, they totally wrecked their shit.
Yeah,
I have like goosebumps. That's awesome.
They try to play.
Go ahead, Diego.
How horrible is it that they try to play Patria Vida over her talking?
Yeah, they played the song. They played the song as loud as they could to try to drown out her microphone.
Wow.
It's criminal. I don't understand. I don't understand how the Cubalu hasn't kicked off. You know what I mean? Because like there's
Cubalu. I like that term.
But
here's the thing. We did that in New Jersey. This is, we're going against the entire political machine of Elizabeth, New Jersey when we do that. And everybody in Cuba is standing up to the Cuban machine. I don't care what country it is, and I don't care what party they are. If someone is doing something that is promoting the wrong narrative about Cuba, I am going to speak up no matter where I am.
100%. And I still think for the most part, right, is I was explaining this to a friend the other day, and I was like, in Cuban circles, you could tell your parents, look, I identify as a black midget Muslim wrestler. And they'd be like, okay, thank God, I thought you were going to say Democrat.
Oh my gosh.
So for the most part, Cubans are really good at not really loving government. So it's always like these people where I'm just like, and again, we have our problems with Republicans too, given that there's a handful that get it right. And barely, but at the same time, we understand that the left is absolutely an exponentially bigger threat. So when you see a Cuban Democrat, you go, "What the hell happened there?"
Yeah.
Tonight I met four workers from the South African embassy at the United Nations. I walked across the street just to ask them what country they were from. They were all black guys. They said, "We're from South Africa. We work here in the UN." And I said, "Do me a favor. When you're having conversations with people, don't gaslight Cuba. Please talk to people who work in the UN with you. Just let them know what's happening in Cuba. And I want you to know this because I know that Africa has had its own racial struggles. And you need to know that the current uprising in Cuba was literally inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement in the United States. these people, these hip hop artists saw what they were doing here and they said, we're being abused by the police here in Cuba and we're not going to take it anymore. They spoke up, they risked their lives, they're still risking their lives, and they're doing it. And it primarily started as a race rights issue. And so to gaslight these people and say, well, it's just Cuba in general, they're just a poor country, you know, kind of out of sight, out of mind, they're just a poor country. It's so disgusting, because everything that our media right now painted a narrative of about the struggle for civil rights and about police abuse, that is happening in Cuba to the Black population right now, very specifically. So to not stand up for them is to stand up against Black rights and the civil rights struggle of Black Cubans.
100%. And there's people that, like I said before, they're running cover for these people and they're lying. People like Abby Martin apparently went on Joe Rogan to talk about how it's the embargo or how it's this. It's like, how dare you talk about people that have really lived this life, that have understood this, that are now in the streets fighting for their lives, risking everything. And you're going to be like, oh no, it's actually the US and this and this and this. It's so horrific. And like, I'm not saying that people can't learn, and I'm not making an argument from authority. I'm literally making the argument that these people know and these people are lying. And we can't let them get away with that narrative.
I can destroy the embargo narrative in probably under 60 seconds. Very simply, the United States does more than $250 million in agricultural and medicinal trade directly to the island every single year. The United States provides all of that directly to Cuba. And what happens to it? The party gets a hold of it and doesn't let the people touch it. Cuba has resources. Cuba has everything they need. Besides the fact that they plunder resources from poor African and South American countries that are poorer than them, they also, the Cuban party officials, have foreign investments in total of over $300 billion. They have everything that they need. There is no economic blockade on Cuba. It's just an embargo on commercial business between the United States and Cuba. Everywhere else in the world trades with Cuba. Half of the world gets plundered by Cuba. Countries that lend to Cuba don't get paid back. And the United States alone prioritizes through the Treasury Department, through the Office of Foreign Assets Control, or what's known as OFAC. OFAC prioritizes medicine and food shipments from the United States to the island to make sure that they go through. And what happens? The party gets a hold of them. So the embargo argument is absolute nonsense. I wish they would get rid of it because it's just such a totally cheap excuse and such a smokescreen. But then you have to think, maybe they're doing this on purpose. If they're gaslighting us on CNN and they're gaslighting us on CBS Miami, where Miami is reporting on CBS that the protests are about COVID vaccine shortages. And they're in Miami with the Cuban population. If they're gaslighting us like this, if they're giving us solutions that have nothing to do with the problem, and they want to go on and say that everything is about the embargo, then sometimes I think it's all intentional because they want the socialist system in Cuba to continue. They want to stabilize it. They want to strengthen it because that's their argument for the American progression towards socialism, is that it worked in Cuba.
Yeah.
Yep. They're lying to all of us. You know, Max Blumenthal's another criminal who, when it comes to, you know, the whole empire and war and all of that stuff, he gets it really, really spot on. When it comes to Venezuela, when it comes to Cuba, they're purporting lies. And it's criminal at this point. When people are risking their lives and dying for this stuff, to not talk about it or to, you know, lie about it is criminal. You want to talk about misinformation and all that stuff. Okay, well, what about this misinformation campaign where people are literally losing their lives and you're lying to people? How is that woman not, you know, laughed out of polite society? You know,
well, going back to the point about Black Lives Matter and about Afro-Cubans in particular were very, very sympathetic to Black Lives Matter, and they were all part of the movement, and they feel absolutely betrayed by their own Black brothers right now who are saying, well, your human rights struggle is just not important anymore.
That's terrible. That's so terrible.
They're
all awful.
Or it just isn't a struggle at all. Meanwhile, we're showing people in real time video from our families on the island of people getting abused, of these things that are happening, and we're showing people in real time, and they say, "Oh, well, that's probably just a montage."
The worst
Insane.
moments.
Insane.
I don't even know
It's
what to do.
criminal.
Like, what do you guys do with the rage? Like, what do you do with the rage you're feeling about this? Like,
we get on as many shows as we can. We get in front of as many cameras as we can. We talk to as many people as we can. I was sitting in the rain here in Manhattan after our protest at the UN with just some random dude under a roof, and I was like, "Can I talk to you about what's happening in Cuba?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, I want to hear about this." And I said, you know what's really going on is not what CNN is telling you. He's like,
Right.
I had a suspicion because I was pretty sure bad things have been going on in Cuba for a long time.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
I just
Talk
feel
to
like
everybody you can.
It's
like when we were spreading the Ron Paul revolution.
Mm-hmm.
You guys,
Yes.
all four of us remember this.
Yep.
Like when we were going to, hey, do you guys know about Ron Paul? Do you guys know about the Federal Reserve? Holy crap. Do you guys know that our wars are illegal? I mean, Cuba right now has fully infiltrated most of our hemisphere, including our country, and people are just clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Adrian.
And,
Yeah,
and
they are.
And again, they're covering because there's protests all over the country. There's people willing to talk about it. I mean, we were just walking down the middle of Times Square talking about down with socialism, down with communism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not like we're not talking about it. You're walking down the middle of Times Square yelling this stuff, and they just refuse to talk about it.
Yeah.
It is criminal what they're doing.
Well, it's worse than that because the way our government has set up conditions where you can't escape, they've set up conditions where you can't be reinforced by your own family here in the United States. They've set up conditions where the American people have absolutely no sympathy because all they've heard is that there's a shortage of vaccines. So with those three things together, you're setting up conditions for an actual political genocide. And when you do that, when you start to bury that, you've got blood on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised people haven't started shooting, for the love of God. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how someone can watch this and knowing that your family's there, your people are there, and that they're at the bravest that they've ever been.
Yep.
You know, they're the most inspired, and they're sacrificing the most that they've ever sacrificed. And you see this, and it's like you can't do any. I'm telling you, my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I will get on a boat tomorrow if I get the call that says let's go, and I can't do anything. All we can do is talk about it.
Yeah. And all we can do is talk about it and make sure everybody around here knows about it, because while they don't know about it, they won't care. They won't do anything about it. And they'll continue to gaslight us, and they'll continue to let the media paint this narrative, and they'll continue to let these politicians get away with these lies about it and use Cuba as a silver spoon for the next issue that they can use to gain money for their political organization.
Right.
To say, hey, we're that organization that was really standing up for Cuba. Remember us? We're the Democratic Socialists. We're over here telling everybody about the embargo. You know, that's the thing you don't really hear about. That's what's really bad. And it's just such nonsense. And they're using it to fill their coffers. They're using Cuban suffering to fill their coffers. They're using Cuban suffering to keep their activists on the same page so that they can keep them around for the next event that they're going to use to make money off of. And it's disgusting. And they have blood on their hands for doing this.
And they sleep at night somehow still. I don't know.
They don't care.
They don't care. You're right.
Oh, no, they care. They want this. They want their opponents exterminated. This is what happened in Cuba. They talk like this, and eventually they dehumanize their opponents to the point where once it's time to kill them, you don't feel a thing.
Have you talked to them about gusano and how that was used?
Oh, well, gusano means worm. It actually means maggot. And, you know, soldiers are trained by, you know, they motivate them by calling them maggots. Oh, you're a maggot right now. You got to do what you're told. And it's an insult. It's dehumanizing. But in particular in Cuba, that's who you are if you aren't part of the revolution. You're called a gusano. And in fact, Diego, and because it's disgusting, the maggots stink. They cause that methane smell in your trash. They're putrid beings. But you know what? I was thinking about this, Diego, that maggots also infest rotten meat.
Yeah.
If we can get a maggot infestation in Cuba on the rotten meat that is the Communist Party, I'm happy. When we were in Elizabeth the other day and they tried to shut down our right to speak about what's happening in Cuba after they just tried to have their little ceremony, we love you, Cuba, we're here for you, that little thing. When we wrecked their thing, we started chanting together, Arriba los gusanos! We were like, yeah. We started chanting, up with gusanos, up with the worms. We're the worms. Let's go. And we're proud of it.
Let's go. That's right. Let's go. And it's used in the most disgusting. So so for example, like when they found out that my father was leaving the island, and they would, at this point, people were animated, they feel like, we're the revolutionaries, we're doing the right thing. And so, they're just doing prop up, random rallies and stuff like this, where they're getting on top of cars and they're talking about how this revolution is going to be great and fantastic. And so, for example, as my dad's leaving, they're telling him he hates his country. He hates this country. He doesn't care about this revolution. He's leaving. He's a worm. And that's the way that they would talk to you. It feels very similar to how BLM is talking to people, how they're acting with impunity, how they're just trying to take over the culture. But we can learn this lesson from history and not accept it here. And people over there, obviously, they're rejecting it now. But there's a lot of crossover here between BLM and the people back that were the revolutionaries.
It's really unfortunate. I know that there are a lot of younger Cubans who were very sympathetic to BLM, and they are very sympathetic to the actual cause of Black Lives Mattering. Mm-hmm. And I am as well. And it's very painful to see an organization that's a Marxist organization like BLM take over this whole conversation about civil rights for Blacks. That really, really bothers me. And a lot of Cubans right now are really torn. The younger generation is really torn because they have so much sympathy for that movement that they're terrified to say anything. But most people are just not taking it anymore. They're realizing that there's a direct communist agenda to do exactly what they're doing in Cuba to us here, and to shut us up, and to shut up the Cuban people here because they don't fit the mold of the typical Hispanic that votes Democrat.
Yeah, I hate it when
and
somebody
it's disgusting. It's racist.
When
it's racist.
They co-op
and my
a
wife
movement
actually, Diego,
co-op a movement.
My wife actually, just last night, my wife was telling me, when I was growing up in Cuba and I had a disagreement with a neighbor about a political issue, they would just say, well, what do you know anyway? Your father's a worm.
Insane, dude. Oh, and my God.
When
do we start
she would clap right back. She would say, and what are you? And what's your father? Your father works for the government. He murders people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the worst. You're murdering people and you can still sleep
worms
at
don't
night.
Kill anybody. They just clean up the mess afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Worms create topsoil. There we go.
I love that.
Fertile ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She was actually just telling me that last night. She's like, yeah. They would say, ¿Y qué sabes tú? Tu papá es un gusano. ¿Qué vas a saber? They're like, what would you possibly even be able to learn? You're being raised by an idiot.
Wow.
Because he was against the revolution. Because that revolution tortured him for 6 years in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Right.
And murdered her mother. And these people have the audacity to talk to their own neighbor who they know that they murdered her mother and call her an idiot for having a difference of opinion on any issue.
I mean, and here's another problem too, is that, as I think around the 90s, where people just had really just swallowed the black pill and they knew that they weren't on the right side of the revolution, there was a huge spike in suicides from people that felt a dark, deep pain in their soul for what they had promoted and what they had fought for, and they couldn't even, go on anymore. So they would just kill themselves. So not only that, but these poor kids that are being indoctrinated into this nonsense, if any of them do have a soul, there's a good chance that when they realize that they've supported evil, right? And Tom Woods talks about this in Real Dissent, that now the people that say, I would never support the Nazis and stuff like that are more than likely the same people who would have been supporting the Nazis, right? And a lot of these people, if they do have a wake up and if they do have a soul and they start peeking around mirrors, there's a good chance that a lot of them might kill themselves or cause more harm. That's a real social aspect to these things too.
Yeah, and then there's others who are like, well, I'm past the point of no return at this point, so I might as well just keep doing the bidding of the government. And it's really awful. And so my point of coming on here, I just wanted to remind everybody, don't stop talking about this. Don't let up. Thank you, Mary, especially you've been a surrogate admin for Liberty Memes since I've been on a ban. And in particular, I am banned because I spoke out about violence in Cuba.
Yeah.
The Cuban government showed up by the busload, and I mean 20 buses with 50 people in each bus, and they had rebar in their hands.
Yep.
Rebar. They were
Did you guys see that video? Did everyone see that video?
And all I said on the live stream of them arriving was, burn those buses.
Yep.
And I got banned for promoting violence on something where I was talking about save actual lives.
They were gonna go be violent. Yeah.
But
we know what side Facebook's on.
Social media, when you see that the mainstream media, social media, the government, and academia are all geared toward protecting this narrative that Cuba is some sort of socialist paradise where everything that we've seen fail everywhere else is somehow magic and it's somehow working perfectly and everybody can read and everybody has all the medicine that they need except they don't have all the COVID vaccines, except they have shortages that they're protesting. They do this, and when you see this, you're like, how could these people not be in some sort of plot with the Cuban government?
Yeah. And here's another thing too, is that, you know, I know that we've been relentless, and I think everybody here is just a goddamn champion for, you know, nonstop, just relentlessly talking about this, right? Is that, you know, for the people listening, like, you know, comment on their stuff, like it, share it, you know, create some kind of noise around it, because that means that people will see it. Because I was just banned 2 days ago, and you guys can attest to this. My entire social media has been nothing but this one topic. I don't care about anything else. It's the most important thing ever for me. And so, you know, they're keeping it low so people don't see it. They don't want you to see it. And then not only that, but they banned me for talking bad about communism and Cuba, and that's all I've been. In fact, people have said,
Can I say something about who Diego is, you guys? If you guys know who I am, I'm the guy who runs Liberty Memes. I'm the guy who was the #1 recruiter for the Ron Paul campaigns when he was running for president. And Diego practically is the architect of the Win at the Door program for Young Americans for Liberty. This guy is a beast. He cares about effective activism. He knows what he's talking. So when somebody like him or somebody like me says, we need to focus on Cuba, it's because there's a serious problem that affects every single one of us here in this country as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you guys are talking about it, I mean, I know that it is important to the people of Cuba, obviously, but also, hello,
and so
like it's fight for liberty.
Libertarians, I'm like,
I don't understand.
I know that there are liberty groups here. I know there are liberty groups here in New York City. I know there are liberty groups here in Manhattan. I know there are libertarians and liberty-minded people and conservatives and other people who claim to be against communism who live right here in New York City and see my posts on Liberty Memes and see Diego's post on his social media, and they're not at our protests. And they're not talking about it on social media. They're still busy talking about what petition deadline is coming up for whatever candidate. And I'm like, guys, communism is taking over every aspect of our society, and our own society is using every single way to communicate with the people to whitewash the crimes of the Cuban government while trying to commit those crimes here. And we're just like, oh, well, what politician do we write to about our gun rights?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you really believe in this stuff, and you say you're out there yelling down with socialism, down with communism, like screaming it in the streets. Oh my gosh, that's like my soul singing.
Yeah.
Like I can't just do that right now.
Half of these protesters, the younger protesters that are in the Cuban movement right now, were Bernie Sanders supporters. And they called themselves democratic socialists, and they actually believed it's different if you call it that. And suddenly they're realizing, no, these people are not on our side. And these are the same people who were democratic socialists are in the streets of New York screaming down with communism. There is a revolution going on in the minds of young Cubans who were taking a shift to the left. There is a revolution going on in their minds to outright reject anything that smacks of communism. And it's because it's very real. It's because they're realizing that there's some sort of an agenda to enable the Cuban government to continue to commit these atrocities.
My heart just breaks, like, for you guys, because you have family there, and I don't even know what, like I said to you, I think it was on Tuesday, like, what can we do? Like, because it makes me so sad. Like, what can we do? I literally can't do anything. But you said that. Don't stop talking about it.
The Ron Paul revolution, for example, we have the ability to hit the streets. You know, maybe it's time for all of us to have some palm cards and start handing them out around the country, because we need to correct this narrative that's being pushed on us. And it's very dangerous. It is just so dangerous to whitewash the crimes of the Cuban government while praising some sort of social system that they want to implement here because it sounds really good for something that they've had a pipe dream about.
And let me call out some libertarians here, because even the libertarians that I think we'd all agree with, right? I mean, essentially what they've discovered through this new message, or trying to bring back the Ron Paul revolution, is that we have to triage atrocities, right? That war is the biggest crime against humanity. And then after that, when you go down the list is, well, that guy's mean to some other people, right? Your Reason and Cato types will just circle around that stupid wagon all day long, and they'll chatter about it. And there's libertarians that are like, we need to triage atrocities, war, the Fed. This is what really matters. The empire and the bloodline of the empire. Similarly, atrocities are happening right now in the world where you need to get involved, and libertarians are quiet. Maybe they were out there for an hour, you know, when this first started happening, but they've been silent, and they need to start talking up and getting loud and doubling down, and then commenting and activate and all this stuff, and, you know, saying, fuck the algorithm, I'm going to help people see this and share this, and I'm going to create, you know, some sort of energy behind this, because this is the most important thing right now.
Yeah, because it affects our country directly. This country is using this opportunity to stabilize the Cuban regime so that they can say that it never failed, and so that they can take their policies as their model for what they want to do here. This is intentional, and they have blood on their hands for using the Cuban lives that are being slaughtered in the streets. They're using them as political footballs so that they can gain some sort of points and have their pipe dream come true. And it's murder. It is murder.
That's right.
And that's here. That's here in the United States. That's not in Cuba. That is here. We need to fight this. I know how this hits Diego. I know how it hits him.
And it's tough because like we can't demand action from our government. This is something for the Cuban people to do, but we also don't want to turn our back on them to, like, so that. But
it's not. I mean, there's so much about the way they're spinning this to make the Cuban government look innocent. There's so much about the way they're spinning it to make them look innocent so that they can promote those policies here in the United States. So that's our fight, is what they're doing here in the United States, taking the Cuban model to push here. The mayor of Washington, D.C. ordered that the Viva Cuba Libre be painted over, that was painted on the streets in front of the Cuban embassy. And she said very specifically, she said, well, their embassy expects us not to allow attacks of hate on their embassy, because our staff in the Havana embassy has historically always been safe. How about 2018, when there was a microwave attack that left people blind and deaf in the Cuban embassy? It's called Havana syndrome. It's on Wikipedia. It's internationally recognized. They attacked the U.S. embassy in Havana and caused people to be completely discombobulated, and some people have never recovered from it.
Right,
So she says, oh well, we don't want attacks of hate on the Cuban embassy by writing "Long Live Free Cuba" in front of the embassy. And meanwhile, just a couple of blocks away, she ordered "Black Lives Matter" to be written on the street.
Right. I mean, I know we're beating the horse to death here, but it's just because from 50 different ways from fucking Sunday, do we have evidence and just example after example after example of how they're covering this up, how they're doing PR for it, how they refuse to talk about it. So it's like, it's infuriating.
But you know what the mayor of Washington D.C. went on to say in that statement? She went on to say, we look around the world for the best practices of other governments and try to implement them. And Cuba's literacy and education and healthcare programs are shining stars for us.
Insane. You know what?
We should healthcare system that murdered my mother-in-law.
Wait, can we I don't know, did you guys get that? You saw the poem, right? About the pen and the pencil, right?
No.
We should share that. Every time that they talk about the literacy rate, you get here.
And there's a poet who was a political prisoner who ended up becoming the I believe it was under the first Bush administration. He became the U.S. ambassador to the UN Human Rights Commission. His name was Armando Valladares, and he told a poem about, they took my pen, they took my paper,
I sent it to David.
They took my paintbrush. They took my quill pen. They took my construction paper. They took my canvas. They took everything away from me. But they can't take my blood, and that's what I'm using to write. And because I have my blood and I can write, I'm free in my heart.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like every time that someone posts about the literacy rates, just, respond with that. Whenever they talk about healthcare, post the pictures. I love posting the pictures because it's like, here's the receipts. Here's the receipts.
Here's the receipts.
Hospitals that you're just clamoring on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
been driving
Dave
all day.
to...
I've been driving all day. I had my radiator bust halfway to the protest. I actually was able to get to the protest in time to participate in it. Fortunately, some mechanics in New Jersey are actually very amazing and work very quickly. So I was able to get to this safely, but I'm falling asleep. So I gotta get some sleep because I'm no good to this cause if I'm exhausted.
You're not driving, right?
No, I'm not driving home tonight. I drove 200 miles already today. I've done at least 2,000 miles of driving for this cause. I've done at least 80 hours of driving and pavement and protests and flyering, and I can't stop. This is full time. This is what needs to happen right now.
Did you already talk about that drive that you did like the very next day where you drove all through New Jersey and all that stuff?
No, I didn't tell them about
that, man.
They don't know about that.
You went home and then drove right back to recruit people for this event, and it's like, that ain't easy, man. That's 4 hours of driving, and like that's why like this man, I love him to pieces. That's why he's my friend, is because he's willing to do shit like this.
Yep.
He means it when he says it. He's not full of shit. He'll drive all the way to New Jersey to recruit people for this event because he cares.
Yep.
People don't do that.
I know. I know.
The best of the best of the best do that.
That's what we talked the other night. Like, we talked to David. It was, I couldn't fall asleep. Like, after I talked to him, we were just sharing. He was sharing about what was going on and what he had done. And it was like, and I'm like, please just be safe driving. Oh my gosh.
Well, then it seems to me that I've earned my nap this evening. So I'm going to get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep here in Queens and then drive home to Syracuse.
You better get some sleep. Yeah. And not
like... there's another detail. Remember, I told you when I was in New Jersey the other day when I did the live stream, the next day I went to Queens and I recruited Chinese anti-communists. And they came to the rally today.
Yay!
And they got their petition signed against the Chinese Communist Party. And they did newspaper articles about the Cuban fight being similar to their fight against the Chinese government.
That's awesome. Was there any kind of like mainstream media there to like get you guys? Because you said they keep interviewing the commies.
No.
Nope.
That's why we have to be the media. You guys remember the Ron Paul revolution. You remember when they wouldn't let us speak a word about the man, when they would refuse to say his name in polls where he was winning first place in a landslide.
Yep.
You guys remember this?
Oh, yeah. Remember they put the lowest tier on the top.
This has to be a guerrilla campaign to get the word out.
Yep.
And we have to resort to those same tactics. We know how to use them. Let's get started.
Let's do it, guys. I'm pumped.
I wish we were a bigger platform.
Yeah, I wish we were. I don't know, but I'm
all
just
it
going to
takes-
talk
all it
about. I keep
takes is
sharing and talking, and
all it takes is the 15, 20 people that you have on this show right now watching. Those people go out and they motivate their people in their hometown, their own liberty activists. And guys, what are we doing for Cuba? What are we doing about the fact that Cuban communism is taking over the United States? Guys, let's go.
yeah,
Let's get this done.
and tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like,
Diego, buenas noches.
let them know the
Te
truth.
quiero.
Buenas noches.
Patria y vida, mi hermano. Patria y vida.
Patria y vida. Viva Cuba libre.
Viva.
You sleep well, Dadman. You better sleep well.
I love him so much.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, he has got that energy and spirit and energy. Like he's really.
Yeah.
How did it get to where like the U.S. has this like I'm lost for a word right now. I'm sorry. They don't know what Cuba's like. How did it get to that point? What happened?
Again, it's a stain on, you know, the ideology that they're shifting towards. It's a black eye on everything that they say they care about. That's why Abby Martin, that's why Max Blumenthal, that's why the mainstream press and all these guys have to go out there, run cover, and spread misinformation, funny enough, about this, you know, about this stuff. It really is that they're just straight up lying to you. This is like the 13th floor. Remember the Ron Paul, Jon Stewart moment? This is it. This is it. This is one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world, and it's at least gone on for longer than most. I'd say maybe North Korea is a place where it's happening, but for it to happen 90 miles south and they're not even talking about it, like we have to go crazy with this stuff in order just to break through a little bit. I haven't seen one segment yet on Tucker Carlson's show about this stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Not one.
Not one.
I've seen it on Sean Hannity. That's great, but you'd think like it should be covered daily, consistently,
because it's
go
happening.
on and on and on and on.
Yeah, because it's happening. Yep.
It's and you know, again, one for the right wingers that watch or that you talk to, right? Because you should always use the Horton rule, right? And come to it from the right. Be like, these are people that never vote Democrat. These are people that are good family members, that are entrepreneur, that don't want welfare, right?
Okay.
They're religious. Why wouldn't you want them in your country?
Yeah.
They flipped Miami. Salazar is now a congresswoman because the Cubans said, no, we're not playing with this.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, for right-wingers, why wouldn't you want this? People that are religious, entrepreneurial, hate the government, right? Hate communism. Why wouldn't you want that in your country?
No,
And then to anybody else, it's just like, and not only that, but we're a perfect example. I'm okay with being used as a narrative if it means that people will talk about it. Normally, you wouldn't like something like this, but I don't care. If you'll talk about it, I'll take it.
Talk about it.
Republicans can beat Democrats over the head with how they're essentially running cover for communists. Why won't they use that? Why won't they talk about it? They can. Go ahead. I don't care. Be a narrative. Like, use me. I don't care. Not me specifically, but the people that are suffering to talk about it, because it's not about, it's like, forget anything. If this has an effect at all, that's the only thing in the world that matters right now. Is, again, we're between a revolution and a bloody massacre, and everybody's doing their best to run cover to make sure that this ends up a bloody massacre.
I wrote that down when you said that earlier, when you first came on, and it's like, that is exactly where it is, and the fact I have such a hard time like taking things in and I don't know what to do with it, like, so yeah, I'm just like, my feed is mostly Cuba because I'm just like, listen guys, people, hey, like, you know what got the most reaction? And when I share things from pages, Facebook doesn't want to let people see that, but I changed my
your banner.
My banner on Facebook. And then I went back and edited a title to it, and like a bunch of people saw it, and people who like I was like, damn, oh my gosh, we're still friends on Facebook? I didn't even know you saw my shit, you know? People are like commenting and like reacting and stuff. And so I think I'm just going to change my banner like twice a day. Like, just because I feel like that's a thing. Like the banner thing is like, it's a way to get around the algorithm kind of deal, you know? Like, I know, I'm like being creative. Like, how can I get around this so that more people will see it? Because I really... This is a turning point. It is. It's a turning point. I don't want to see the people of Cuba go back. I don't want to.
That's the scariest thing is what I was saying earlier. It's like if the world draws its attention away from it, then that'll leave the Cuban government to do whatever they want to do. If we're not, not paying attention, then they can end this.
Yep.
But as long as we're paying attention, as long as all eyes are on them, then they have a chance to fight this.
Yep.
And it keeps people alive too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, whenever they come out, like Yoani Sanchez, who's a reporter who's talked about this, who, you know, comes into the US and all over the world to talk about this nightmare stuff. She still, you know, as far as I know, still lives in Cuba, but the only reason that she's alive is because killing her would just be so naked.
Wow.
They won't do it.
Yeah.
And so the exposure keeps people alive. It keeps them alive. It really does. It's the only reason those two, because Yotuel and Gente de Zona I don't think they don't live in Cuba anymore. There's only two that live in Cuba. And essentially they're like on a house arrest. But they should be dead. But the only reason they're not is because it's so viral and so popular. Like, you know, if you watch like the award show from, what was it, yesterday? Like, it's a big thing, and the exposure is what's keeping them alive. And so for that reason too, is like we just have to keep hammering it in and be relentless. And libertarians, please, for the love of God, take this on as your mission, because if you don't, then I mean, a lot of the stuff that's happening in Cuba is now starting to happen in the US.
Yep.
And who would you want other than like the people that are like veterans of this stuff that have already lived through it to help you to wake other people up here? Because your Cuban is not going to want to see the rot of communism, socialism, Marxism here in this country either. They're deadly opposed to it. They don't want to see that here. They didn't flee a place that they loved, right? And come here because everything was going great. Like they say this with sadness in their heart. They don't, you know, they never wanted to leave. They love their country.
Yeah.
But that you can't live like that. I mean, you just need freedom. That's what they've been chanting. It's in the poetry and the art, in everything.
Yes.
Is just liberty. They mean it. And people need to understand that.
Yeah. I love what you said. They didn't want to leave.
The algorithm,
but they had to. Yeah, go ahead.
You were talking about...
Oh, I'm trying to find all the ways. I'm trying.
And so I noticed that too, because I don't care about the frame, but I'm just like, I noticed that after I got zucked, I changed the Facebook frame to Patria Vida, right? You just feel compelled to, but it doesn't matter. You're not, you know, you're not doing this for any other reason.
Right.
And that has all the likes and shares. But if you share photos, like I shared a photo of people, you know, of the same thing where David was earlier. And, you know, there's Dadman sitting outside the UN and there's photos, and I share that. And that gets like a third of the registration. And it's like right now what matters is eyeballs. Like I don't care about my notifications. I just want more people to know.
Right.
Like I'm not important. This movement is.
Right. Look
and
at
that's what's sad about it.
Yes.
You just want more people to find out.
Exactly. So I found that, I mean, even just taking photos from people's pages and say, you know, maybe like copy paste like what they said instead of sharing it from their page, it gets more interaction than sharing it actually from the page. And I know it goes against, you know, like, you know, people trying to grow stuff, but it goes against the meme lords. But in this case, you know, I'm trying really hard to just like, this is from, like David Gay had posted something, and I noticed that, you know, it was like, if I share this, I'm not sure. So I was like, I took it and I just copied it all, and I said, from my friend, you know, who has family and friends in Cuba, you know,
Right.
and I got a lot more reactions from that than I would have if I had just straight shared it from.
Yeah, for some reason, Facebook
somewhere.
hates shares. They hate external links.
Yeah.
They hate tags.
Yeah.
They hate even
Facebook
mentioning
hates all
without
the
tags
things.
of any external site. You can't even say like float or anything else.
You have to
that'll
spell it
throttle.
all weird, and
Even
you know,
that.
I
It
even
ain't
try
dumb.
like
Right.
I know, but I try to like space out Cuba, like make it be, you know, like so that it's not
Right.
getting like flagged
But it
by
still
shit.
knows.
Like, but I know they know, and I can't understand how these people sleep at night, like keeping this kind. I don't understand how they can
Yeah.
keep this.
But like and it's kind of weird because like I was getting, you know, 100 shares on a post on like for example, like this girl that was beaten over there like in the protest, and she had blood coming out of her face and
Oh.
her eyes were all bloodied up.
saw
and she
that.
was beat. And it said weapons. It had 70 plus shares, and then the next day I'm banned.
Wow.
Or like a couple days later, and just like giving all this information, and you guys, you know, like
Yep.
like that the page has been nothing like, so even people have said you're even more kosher than you normally are, whereas like just normally like your Rothbard and Capistan, you know,
Yes.
Yep. Stuff. This is milk toast compared to the other
Yeah.
stuff that you post. It's like, yeah, and it still got banned, and it's like,
Right.
okay.
And you're not the only
So
one,
I
and that's
don't know,
what's
but we have-
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So there has to be a way to like figure out a way against this algorithm, and to
Yeah.
get like libertarians like to feel like this is their cause too.
I know.
There's a
I
lot
know.
that they can learn from this.
Yeah.
And there's
Because
a lot of young libertarians that have never actually like done the work yet. Like they need to put their they need to roll up their sleeves and get involved in grassroots as well too.
Now's your
For
chance, guys.
sure.
Ron
Yes.
Paul's not running anymore. You don't have that option.
Yes, yes.
This is your chance.
Guys, get
to
out.
Go out on
Seriously.
the streets and scream down with communism. Oh my gosh, how many chances do you get to go out on the streets and scream down with
Let's
communism?
just stand.
Like that hit me
let's
so
go back
hard.
to the place where
That
we
was-
did the Ron Paul thing and just down with communism. I bet you everybody would be. Well, most people.
That was
would
the
be
two things
like,
that hit me during
That
this
was
conversation.
one of the most beautiful parts.
Oh, it was.
was that, and when they were saying like, let's not get into any kind of dangerous territory, and it's like, danger's back there. Like,
Yeah.
like Cuba is, you guys
Oh, yeah.
are they are past danger. The
Yep.
dangerous thing would be to let this die now and let it all quiet down and let them go through and clean up.
Yep.
Let the Cuban regime go through and clean up all the dissidents who raised a ruckus when the world's eye is now looking on the next hot topic.
Yeah.
That's what. That's why I was saying to David. It's like we can't do much. We can't go in there and fight for him. I mean, we can help as much as we can, but what our biggest thing I think is to don't let this leave public perception. Don't let it go to the next story.
Don't let it die.
That's probably
Don't
why they
let
got
it die.
Biden out there talking about drinking children's blood, is because anything
Oh,
besides
shit. Oh my gosh,
talking
you're not
about
kidding.
Cuba,
You're not
we'll
kidding,
just
Dave.
let Biden off the leash, and that'll be the next big story.
I'm literally telling you that I would do anything I can, including, going out there and using this shit against the Cuban military.
Yeah.
And I there's nothing I can do. Why not letters of marks and reprisal and let us go over there and take it? Congress can absolutely pass marks of reprisal, and I can, go over there, and I'm willing to do it.
Collect your.
And they're stopping me.
I know, right? Like you are of sound mind, and you want to go do something to help people.
Yes.
And our own government is saying, you're not allowed to go over there, or we're going to put you in jail for 10 years. And
Now, somebody
and find,
said-
like, what?
Yeah.
I can't even
Like
fathom.
I know Cuba's really close to Florida, but I don't know geography well enough to know how close that is to Mexico. Like, is there like a back
Is there
door?
is there a back door into Cuba? Can you get in there any other way?
The problem is that, so there's a couple problems here, and I've thought about this logistically. It's like, one, you'd have, like, the best part about, taking the boats over there is that, as long as you can get everything you need to Miami, right, then you can head down there. But the problem is that if you can't, like, I'm not going to be able to get everything I need over to Mexico,
Oh,
and
sure.
then also find a boat, and then also get there.
Yeah.
And
And there's
also,
probably a
if
lot
you're
of
gonna bring
fees to pay along the
resources,
way
everything-
there.
Yeah.
100%. And so, where there was 70 boats sitting in Miami's waters that were, protesting right there. Well, imagine if they could just go and hit the straits and get there. But the Coast Guard is, highly surveying this and all this stuff. And I don't understand. Congress could absolutely pass. Rubio won't talk about this. To be fair, he's been the only person aside from Ted Cruz that has just done his wormy little thing to, kind of piggyback off of this. But Rubio's the only one talking about it. And at least he's saying the internet. I'm saying no, more. Marks and reprisal, put a bounty on it. Say, if you can take it, it's yours. And no Bay of Pigs, you're not offering your military services. I don't want it, and nor do I believe you. And every time the U.S. empire gets involved in, with Cuba, we just end up getting fucked. So we don't need to do that. But just letters of marks and reprisal, let us go there. And if we take it, it's ours.
Yep.
Just open up the ocean.
And I will spend...
Sorry, I'm super excited.
And you know what? And if we take it, I'll spend the rest of my life there trying to rebuild that country to be the beautiful place that it was just a generation ago.
Yeah, just a generation.
I don't care.
That's so sad. Just a generation ago. A generation.
50,
one
60
generation.
years.
It was. Yeah. I mean, remember, this is the country where Ernest Hemingway was living in. Where the Frank Sinatras were coming to, vacation in. Like, that was the same country.
Dave's not
That was
laughing
like a
at you,
beautiful
he's laughing
place
at
where
the
people were.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what's there now that people like when they go? I mean, obviously not right now, but when people go to like, oh, we're gonna go vacation in Cuba, like, what is there? There's the places that the tourists are allowed to see, and then the rest is like, it's like off limits, so you don't know what it's like.
I figure it's like Mexico. They're like, you go here.
It wouldn't necessarily be like off limits. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be like off limits. Something that my family's done for the longest time is that they'll go vacation there, but they're staying with their relatives, and what they do is they bring jeans, they bring maybe little snacks or something that they can pack with them, and in their luggage. And then they come back like essentially empty luggage, and they just leave all that stuff with them. Food, clothes, stuff that would help, just help them out. Sometimes it's basic necessities, and they just pack that in their luggage when they go over there, and then they go stay with their relatives instead of in.
Are they afraid to go back? Are they afraid at all to like go visit and hang out with family and take these things? Are they nervous that they're gonna like somehow get like taken back in?
It varies. Like there's people that should be scared that aren't scared, and they're just awesome. There's people that are scared, and there's people that like legit can't go. So my father is considered a terrorist by the Cuban government. I said U.S. government. That's me, not him. But my father's considered a terrorist by the Cuban government, and for multiple assassination attempts on Castro, and we have the same name, and so that stopped me from going over there. Is because we have the same name, and if anything happens, like, hey, aren't you related to that one guy?
Yeah.
And it's like.
Oh,
yeah,
but like my heart, like multiple assassination attempts, like.
Is that just something put on him?
They were.
Did he really try to do
No,
that?
he wanted to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's a hero for that. Yeah,
that
like
is,
he can die,
yes!
All right, we're going down this lane now.
No, I'm saying like my heart. I'm like that is, oh my gosh, amazing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they would bring resources. They'd protest outside. I mean, in the 90s, they almost shot down his boat when they were protesting outside of Cuban waters.
Wow.
Because they have the boats with the machine guns on it, and they're shooing at them and stuff like
Holy
that. That's
shit.
That's really where this stuff really started.
Doing the Lord's work.
Now
was
he doing that from our board from when he came over here, or was this before he came over here?
No, this is when he was here. I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, and he's going and doing
like
that
I remember him leaving for these trips.
Oh.
Going on a trip.
Yeah.
Doing the Lord's work. Amen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, if I could go there and do the same thing, I would too. I have no problem. If tomorrow they said you're going, I'd get in the water and go. Whatever may happen, I don't care. I just want to go. And they're literally stopping me. I want to be there. I would get in that water right now. I don't. Be whatever happens. I don't care.
Yeah.
But they're just making it impossible.
Candido says me too.
They might not even like the narrative.
Go ahead.
And the one thing that they would, so the one pushback that I did get from my father was when I told him this. He goes, they could use the narrative that a U.S. Army Ranger goes over to Cuba to kill Cubans in order to perpetuate a narrative. But my response to that is they're going to, you know, like, hey, I'm trained. Let me go over there. But they're also saying, like, you know, but that could be used as a counter narrative. But we're watching right now. They're doing it as we speak. They're using narratives too. So it's like you could just sit here, or you know what? Maybe I take a couple of them down before I go. Right? I could do that. But they're not even letting me do that because, you know, and then the pushback is the narrative. But it's like, fuck the narrative. They're going to use it anyway. So at least let me go and fight.
Right. Yes, that's it. So for people in Cuba, I mean, previous to these protests and everything, to go somewhere else, like if they wanted to go like visit somewhere, or like, are they being like watched and stuff? Like you know, you have to, like, if they wanted to go visit another country,
like any South American country.
Yeah, if they wanted to just leave the island and go somewhere else, like, there's
no leaving the island.
Okay.
There's no, that's not even a thing.
See?
No, I mean, they have to get
that doesn't like send off like alarms to people. Like, hello, they're not allowed to leave the island.
We need to build a wall.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's funny about that is that, like, again, my father wanted to leave, so my grandfather had spent 3 years in a slave camp buying him out. You can't leave. If you do leave, you leave under, you know, secrecy, and you throw yourself into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And if you get busted and you get sent back, then you're going to jail and being tortured.
Yeah. Yep. How
So
can people
there's no
not see
leaving.
this? Yeah.
Especially there's no, like, yeah, you have to buy yourself out or sneak your way out. That's it.
I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Like, this is so, how do people not see this? And why isn't the news covering this more? I know why, but I know why, but damn it, it makes me mad. Yeah. So let's just blow it up. Let's just blow it up.
Like,
do what we can. Like,
that's what we have to do.
Yeah, figuratively. That's, yes.
In Minecraft.
Yes. Nina, yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Like that.
Diego, I'm so glad that you came on tonight to share. You can stay and say all the things you want to say if you have more to share.
I do have to go to sleep.
I know. Okay, so maybe for like 20 more minutes because Dave has to go to work tomorrow for 12 hours. But say all the things you want to say.
Just like, you know, the stuff that you and I and Dadman have been sharing. Find it. Just share it over and over again. You know, tag people in it, tag them in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah. Just,
copy paste it, put it on. So whatever you have to do.
There's no etiquette here.
Be relentless. Get in the streets. Get in the streets. Like, get off the internet and actually go outside of, you know, go outside your capital or go into your cities. Get exposure. Put that online. Like, get some real grassroots activism in there. Like, I don't mean Facebook warrior. I literally mean get out there. Get your friends together. They don't have to be Cuban. This doesn't matter. It's a human atrocity that's happening 90 miles south of the U.S. border. Get out there in the streets and go do it. It doesn't matter. Talk to other Cubans. Get connected in those groups, you know, and then tell them, like, hey, what do you need? Where can I meet up? What can we do? Who can we talk to? You know, hit up your journalists, hit up everybody. You know, they have Twitters, they have tags, they have emails you can look up and say, hey, why aren't you covering this?
Yes.
So there's a million and a half things to do. And sometimes, yes, in grassroots, there's leaders because there's people that are more effective at mobilizing people and sending them in a direction that makes sense. So if you want, find a grassroots leader that's going to help you how to be the most effective with your time. This way you're not just like spinning your wheels. But someone that can guide you and say, okay, well, how about this? I'm starting an email barrage on this journalist because we want to get this corrected, or we want to get this fixed, or we want him to actually put the story straight, or, you know, he's not covering it. Let's have him cover it. We're going to set up a protest. It's going to be on Thursday at such and such time, right outside the embassy or wherever it is in your place. And you can do things locally and you can apply pressure. And if you don't know how to do it, a grassroots leader, if he's competent and knows what the hell to do, will tell you, okay, if it's as mindless as this, step 1 through step 10, do all of these. This will make it a little bit easier and you can just do all that stuff. And then not only that, but let's say you don't have the tools to understand grassroots. I mean, a lot of us didn't have grassroots knowledge and mobilizing people when we first started, but that's also how you start to learn, right? So that now when the next thing comes, you're also more effective and you understand how to mobilize people and effectively use grassroots so that you're not a metabolic waste where you're a net positive on the movement and how it's going. And that's because you already spent the time to learn. That's some things that takes time. Like you guys remember when the last time I was on here and I had a lot of like my guys that were on there and I told you about how they were sleeping in the back of their cars and this person was doing this person. All of them now are like leaders and they're doing that at higher levels now. Like the guys that were sleeping in the back of their cars are now running the show.
Nice.
You know?
Yep.
And they're managers, they're directors, and they were, just getting involved. They had just spent their first 3, 4, 5 months learning about this stuff, working hard, working long hours, but now they're effectively leaders. So this just makes and it helps grow the leadership, the talent pool. It brings more people in to do stuff like this. So it's worth just getting involved.
Let's do it.
It applies here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Perfect.
My prayers are going out to you and to everybody who has family and friends over there in Cuba. I cannot imagine. You are inspiring. You really are. Like, this is history in the making. Ray has been saying that. Like, this is history. Let's be a part of it. Let's make it.
This could be huge.
This is, it's going to go one way or the other, like you said. And I'm praying, oh my God, please let it go in a positive direction for the people of Cuba, for liberty, for their freedom. Anytime you want to come on, ever, Diego, you're welcome, always. Thank you for being here.
Well, I love you guys. So yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure for me to be here, and more, it's just a pleasure to tell people what's really happening because this is just so much bigger than you or I or anything. Like this really is just so important that people need to hear about. I don't matter. This does. Yep.
Yep. And I just, it pisses me off how the media, the media always pisses me off.
Ignore it or reframe it.
Yeah, they just, So let's get mad enough to do something about this, guys.
Yeah, I just
seriously.
tweeted because it's like I listen to a lot of podcasts and nobody's talking about this.
How?
And I said, hey, libertarian Twitter sphere, why aren't we talking more about Cuba?
Yeah, seriously.
Even for our own little echo chambers to spread those spider webs out.
David Gay was saying, like, why is it so hard to have liberty-minded people be behind this? Why are they shying away or sitting in the shadows and not doing anything? It's like, hello.
This is your chance.
I don't understand.
There's a lot of
I don't get it.
There's a lot of silence right now, and I really don't understand it. Like, libertarians, these are your people, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've been shouting liberty for 60 plus years.
Yeah.
They're freedom fighters.
They're doing the thing.
These are the Boog boys. Where are you at? I mean, for real. Like, you want a chance at taking a president's head? This is it.
Get your optics out.
Right? Oh my
Get
gosh.
your tits.
Seriously.
That's why it's the
Seriously.
Cubaloo instead of the Boogaloo. It's a Cubaloo.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We have some people who are here hanging out. I know they're on the coast and they're like, if I would totally just get on a boat right now and go. Totally run guns.
100%. There's a million ways. There's a million ways to get involved, and just think of it this way too, which is what I tell my activists and all of this other stuff is like, okay, let's say for example you can't do a phone bank. Let's say for example you can't knock a door, you can't make this rally. But understand that if you're not there, it doesn't get said, it doesn't get heard. Well, wouldn't you want to put someone at least in your place to fill that role so that they're bringing the message forward? So like, don't just see it as like, I can't do this today, therefore I don't get involved. See it as like, I can't, but my friend, Dan can, my friend Ian can, whatever, they can get involved, they can get this in there. And that's more of a way to think of it when it's grassroots is I need someone in there, even if I can't do it today.
Put somebody in that spot.
Another way to do it.
Yep. Ooh, I like that.
That's that relentless attitude of getting stuff done.
Yep. I love it.
But, yeah.
I love it. Okay, so obviously we're going to be keeping in touch. Where do you think people can find the most, like, I mean, is there anything on Facebook that, like, I mean, following Liberty Memes Returns, obviously, like, for updates and stuff like that, but where else can people find, do you know, that on any social media platform?
There's so many that I, instead of like just having people drink out of a fire hydrant, I'm just doing a conglomeration, and then I try to just put it out there as I see, like, okay, one, is it in English so people understand it? If it's not, it better really be good.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm just doing a conglomeration right now. There's 1.5 million things that are coming to my mind, but that's exactly why I'm taking a conglomerate of it and then putting it out so that people would see it. Obviously, whatever David's putting out, and SOS Cuba, SOS Cuba NYC has a lot of images, protests, and stuff that they're putting out.
Yep.
But there's also like different articles and stuff that are coming out, and then also you need translation. So even if there's more Spanish speakers that want to translate videos, right? We can hand that out to them. They can do it. They can help us to translate it into English so at least people can see. And then we have more receipts because, the language barrier really does screw us. It's Cubalu for Aaron. I was asking Cubalu.
Cubalu.
And so just like that. But Cubano de Mundo is like a really good, but that's also in Spanish. So again, it's hard. But that's why I'm trying to take a conglomerate of everything that's happening and then put it out there.
No, that's good because I don't speak Spanish, so I need like some kind of translation. And then he's been doing the Duolingo, for like a little while.
Months, yeah.
He's good. He's doing good. I'm really proud of him. But we were listening to that song. You have it pulled up right now.
Yeah, and if you turn on the subtitles, on YouTube, they're in English.
And so
because we listen to the whole song and we're like, I'm like, maybe if I put on the subtitles, I can read the Spanish, and then it was all English, and we're just like, we're playing it again.
Yeah, because and it might not translate like David was saying, like it might not translate perfectly, like but it translated enough that
you get the idea. That
it's
not about COVID shots or a soccer game.
It's not about COVID vaccines. Oh my gosh, I want to smack people, but I'm not. I'm just gonna not gonna smack people.
I think if you just look up Yotuel, that comes up with the caption. That's probably where you saw it. Like was through his. Because there's others that don't have it, and you're like, Jesus, come on, man, And that's like when this first came out, I was like, we need to put English subtitles on this like yesterday because this is gonna be huge.
Yeah.
And then, bam.
Yep.
Hold on,
Yeah, because I was enjoying the beat and the all of that of the song and stuff, and I could kind of feel the feelings, but like seeing the words, I'm like, oh, this is yep.
Yeah, and you guys get the reference of the dominoes, right?
Okay, now that's what I think David was saying about the references to. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm assuming the dominoes.
So in dominoes, when it's blocked, when no one else can move, and the game's over, the way you decide the winner is who has the least amount of points or dots, right? So when they make a reference to 5, 9, and double twos, is 4 is a whole lot less than 14. So the winner is that. So when they say your 5-9 is 5-9s when Castro came into power, and this is 2020, and your game's over. So it's a little bit more esoteric in the way that they get to it. This is also a reference when they mention Che Guevara and Jose Marti. Jose Marti's a hero. He's a poet. He's a warrior who died in battle fighting for independence for Cuba. Che Guevara is the butcher of La Cabaña. He's a murderer. He's an assassin. This is the same kind of guy that would walk there. When someone came to visit political prisoners, Che Guevara used to walk them through the firing line where guts and blood were still on the wall before they went to go see their sons or their family members that were locked in gulags. So one's an evil murderer, equivalent to something of like a Hitler or a Stalin or whatever, a Mussolini, and then the other one is a freedom fighter who died for his country.
Wow.
So there's just little things there, that maybe people don't understand. It makes it hard. Yeah, but the message is very simple, and homeland or death was, essentially think of it as like socialism or death, where they just held you up against that false equivalency, and they're saying no, homeland and life, and they're doing away with it. So there's a lot of powerful messaging in there that might not just get even though it's translated, doesn't mean it's understood. So those are a couple of the ones to take away with you.
Thank you so much. I think that's exactly what David was saying, that like those little things weren't, I did not understand the dominoes reference.
Yeah, not at all.
So thank
it's
you.
Very esoteric and very, very culturally specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And the whole the fact, and I just learned that recently about that it was homeland or death. And it's like, who is okay with that? Yuck. Oh my gosh. Homeland or death?
That's the big thing, is everybody wants to die for their country.
Yeah, I feel like that's America right now,
Why don't we live?
Well, it's also a lot of indoctrination too. You have to remember that these kids, when they grow up in these school systems, right? And one of the best quotes I think I've ever seen is, we send our kids to Caesar and we're surprised when they come home as Romans, right? But similar is the Cuban propaganda, because in kindergarten they're filling out coloring books of Cuban soldiers killing American soldiers. Wow. What do you think is going to happen? And the fact that they can still resist it, even with all that propaganda shoved down their throats, is amazing. And it just shows the strength of the Cuban spirit, even against all odds.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding.
All right,
okay, Dave has to go to bed. I would stay and chat for so much longer. Diego, thank you, but I don't know how to run the show. I'm terrible, so I'm not good at this.
Just power off.
I can talk, but I can't push the buttons and stuff. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna do it. And everybody out there, do it.
Go follow Diego.
Yes, follow Diego and do something. Do something. Anything is better than nothing, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You guys are awesome.
You are awesome, Diego. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for your time.
We're praying for you. Love you. Yeah. Love to Cuba. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Good night.
Well, thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Night.
This was great.
Right.
Later. This was really such a great show. I'm going to go back and watch it, I think, again, just to hear, between when Diego
we didn't have a whole lot of energy, but our guests sure did. And then they woke us up.
Well, I think I have had more energy today than I've had.
Yeah. Stupid summer cold.
Than the last week.
Colds still exist.
Colds still do exist, guys. But
we started Discord.
I think when Diego and David started talking, back and forth, and just listening to them.
My thumb looks really red in the camera.
Does it? Oh, I don't know. It doesn't look red here.
Right here.
Weird. This one or this one? Oh, they both look red. I don't know why they look red. My fingertips look red. But it was like awesome listening to the two of them together, you know?
And so like it's like do everything you can do, and if you can't do much, then just don't let your attention be drawn away from it.
Don't let this go.
Don't
let this go.
Don't turn our back on them.
I can't.
Because when
I don't have the Rona.
when the
I have a
cameras
summer
turn
cold.
off, in the dark corners, bad stuff happens.
Here?
No, there.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! No, and that's it. And you said it, Dave. Like when people stop looking at it, it's gonna get real ugly for the people in Cuba. If people stop looking at Cuba, and they've done the thing, they started. They did the thing.
Imagine what they do if they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
And it's just like somebody saying that there's a revolution going on right now in South Africa, and we don't even know about it. Who knows what the hell they're doing to them there?
I hate when I think there's less in the bottle, and then there's more in the bottle. I know, summer Rona. I know the kids got it too, Dan. Like
everybody but me so far, but I'm a little worried.
Listen, have you been taking your emergency?
Yeah, I've been taking everything.
All right, good.
I've been doing crack. Nothing can survive in this system.
I need to burp. Hold on. I just need a minute. Hold on.
Everybody give Mary a minute. Can you guys hold on? Moment of silence.
All right, sorry. Yay, Celeste just bought some stickers to slap in prominent places.
There you go. Yeah. That kind of stuff.
Fantastic.
That Ron
Yep.
Paul stuff. I remember walking
Yep.
down the streets downtown our
Flex
city.
tape.
And I had Ron Paul 2012 bumper stickers, and we'd just be like, boom. It's going on that mailbox.
Yep.
It's going here. It's going there. We got the
Night
little
to
hands
Carl,
out.
night to
We're
Aaron,
putting the
night to
handouts
Drew.
underneath
Thanks,
people's
guys.
windshield wipers.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Google Ron Paul.
There's
Drew Paul?
still
Ron Paul.
There is still
That's a lot.
there's still some Ron Paul stickers around.
Yep, I still see
bumper
them. I'm like, I
stickers that
remember
we see.
putting
I'm
them
like,
there.
oh my gosh, that's awesome. But you guys really like. I feel like I feel like I don't know. This is like some kind of like. This is a thing, you know. Cuba is a thing. If we just let that go, then
Dan has
what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to us? You know, I'm going to have another beer. I'm going to have one more beer.
I gotta go to bed.
I'm going to have two more beers.
Big day tomorrow. Okay. Big
Three
day
more
tomorrow.
beers.
Just tres.
All right, so I curled my hair earlier, but I put it up in a banana clip to get it out of my face because I was so
amazing.
hot.
It looks great.
Like I sit on the floor and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like overheating just from having the summer Rona. Yes. But yeah, I'm gonna take it down because the kids are always like, why do you do
Robert?
why do you do your hair and then put it up? I'm like,
Best I can do is 5.
Dan's in his new house. The water isn't connected. Oh boy. So I get to pour jugs of water into the toilet. That's exciting.
I'm trying to be cheap, so I've been drinking these Labatt Ice all night.
I've only had only 3 more beers, promise. As soon as I say promise, though, it's like my brain's already like.
She doesn't really promise.
Yeah, my brain.
I'm doing that
yeah.
Biden thing. Just get your. What did he say? Get vaxxed or get masked.
Did he say that? Oh my gosh, I believe it.
He likes to whisper stuff.
But I haven't been drinking a lot because I've been sick. So I've had several beers, and right now I'm like flying high.
We'll always be here for you, Robert.
Robert, I miss watching you guys. Haven't been here a long time. I'm coming anytime. We're always here. Friday nights, if you have an account on Float, come over and check out FLOTE Sunday night movie night.
Yeah,
we're watching Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. Yeah. Ryan has a story. He needs to tell us a story.
What? Oh.
Is that a comedian? I feel like I've seen that name on Netflix. Tell me she's on Netflix because I feel like I'm not trying to be.
I want to go upstairs and drink a little whiskey and then go to bed.
Oh my gosh, go get a little whiskey.
I'm not. No.
Okay.
That's a dangerous slope.
Slippery slope, guys.
Bringing
Slippery.
whiskey down the
Down
to the
down
stream.
the stairs to the stream. I just really want to say once again, while we're hanging out with you guys, I really want to say once again, thanks to Diego and thank you to Dadman, both for coming in.
And thanks for everybody who hung out the whole time.
Thank you guys.
Like sometimes,
Yep.
like we have guests on, and everybody's
Yep.
like, okay, I'm gonna go see what else
Yep.
is going on. And everybody hung out, so evidently it was a good show.
You
guys had a great time.
It was
amazing, as usual.
It was just heart-wrenching, like just hearing how
Ryan.
Whiskery, yes, Whiskery. Ryan, you know what though? He did a really good job. I'm going to say this out loud. He did a really good job when we had him on for that quick
fine.
For the quick tour of his beach camp,
It's not going to have like blatant racism or anything crazy like that, right? Just kidding.
He's like, damn it.
I almost
Thanks for coming in, Keith. Thanks for hanging out.
In
Yeah.
the comments. That
I
would've
feel
been
like I've
crazy.
maybe watched her once. Or maybe you mentioned her and I saw a preview or something, but okay, I'm gonna watch her.
Who's
yeah.
that Steven guy that was spamming the chat? I almost banned him, and then I saw we had 65 mutuals. So
I don't know. He has to have been trolling.
yeah, I know. He was walking that ledge.
Woo! It's just his first comment, and Dave's I'm about to block.
Yeah, my finger was on the ban button, and I'm
like,
and then
Dave was about to ban. Look at guys, I used a banana clip. From Dollar Tree, I got 2 banana clips for $1. So this is only 50 cents.
Gonna suck. Whatever. I don't know
sorry,
what tomorrow's going to bring. It's the weekend. I could be anywhere. Where's Ryan?
Oh, I forgot I have a tiny clip in here. Damn it, I need my haircut. This is too long.
RYAN. There he is.
Look at this. It's too long. Whiskery. Gotta bring that whiskery downstairs. I'm gonna drink a beer while we listen to Ryan's story.
Do you want
right?
ice or you? Oh, do you need one?
I got the things, Dave. Yeah. So I totally forgot that I had the shirt, you guys. Like,
you guys.
I'm a lioness. Woo! Thank you. Woohoo! I forgot I had the shirt at the bottom of my pile of clothes in my dresser.
It's a sexy shirt.
I'm not a clothes girl. I'm just a t-shirt and jeans, But I watched one of our I was looking through our past episodes trying to find certain clips. And I was like, oh, damn, I forgot about that shirt. So I wore it tonight. Because I saw it on a YouTube video of ours from months ago. So I threw it in the dryer to de-wrinkle it.
Oh, caller, turn down your radio.
Mary has epic hair. Thank you.
So I
Give the kids the scissors. Oh, caller.
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving the kids the scissors. Heck no.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yep, you fixed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Dan, you trying to take me back to my pixie days? Clippers?
Yeah. What's up, Liberty Late Night?
Hi, Ryan. What's up, baby?
Hey, Dave.
I miss you. I miss you.
Oh, no, I miss you.
I have a really great picture of me and you together. I should frame it and send it to you. I love it.
So, yeah, I'm kind of planning on fallish, early winter.
We're down.
Come to Erie.
Totally.
Yes.
Yes.
You are. Yes.
Yeah.
And I am down.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll clean out your room. It's just got kids' toys all over it. It's got kids' toys all over it right now.
Okay, so you want a tour? Okay, so I got Axis and Allies.
Oh, nice.
I've never played that, but I want to, but I've never played it.
Why are you pushing me away? Oh, so we can see the things. Okay. I've heard
of
that.
I don't know. There's nothing to see.
No, that's all right.
No, Mary was talking
No, but I was talking about your room here. Your room here.
No, I got You want to see some? You want to see something really fucked up? You want to see something really fucked up?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So
the popples.
It's a brand new popples in the box.
That's a brand new popple.
Yep. From 1988, brand new popple in the box. It's probably the only one in existence.
Oh my gosh!
Very well could be.
Are you keeping it in the box, or are you taking it out?
No, I'm keeping it in the box. It's worth a lot of money. Okay, so now you know all my secrets. So no, Okay, whatever.
Okay. So tell us your story.
Okay.
I'm going to crack a beer. You tell us your story.
So here's my story. So I went to pick up my kids at, there's like this little man-made lake or whatever tonight. And like my thoughts here. Okay, so I picked them up there and, it's fine. Before close, and I went, it's like 90 degrees here. And so I went for a dip, got all full of sand or whatever, and I came home. So then I got in the shower to fucking rinse off all the sand, and it's like really kind of a dusty sand or whatever. So, I'm washing off my feet. So I soaped up one of my feet, and then I put my foot down, all full of soap, and then I went to lift up my foot to wash my other foot, and I just went fucking bump. It's just my foot fucking slipped. So I banged my head on the back of the faucet and broke the faucet off.
Oh my God, Ryan!
And I got knocked out for like, I don't know, probably just a few seconds or whatever. But I woke up and I'm laying in the shower and it's blood. And I'm just like laying in a puddle of blood in the shower.
Head wounds bleed like crazy.
Yeah, and the back of my head is just like gushing blood. And I couldn't shut the shower off because I broke the fucking handle off of the fucking my hand, and it was kind of a sharp. It's kind of like one of these, I don't know. It's kind of a fancy fucking handle kind of fucking things or whatever. So it's kind of sharp.
Oh my God.
And it fucking, and it busted off, and I'm just gushing blood, and I couldn't shut the shower off, and so I'm like, and then my daughter comes, and she's like, and she heard the crash because the shampoo bottles and everything crashed in the fucking tub or whatever, and and I'm just like leaning against it, and I'm kind of like dazed, and I'm hurt, and and I'm like, Anna, can you go down to the toolbox, second drawer on the right, to get the vice grips so I could shut off the fucking shower because I broke the fucking.
What about the blood coming from your fucking head?
Stop the water first. This is costing money.
This is costing money.
This is hilarious. Okay, so she goes down, she gets the vice grips, and then she comes into the bathroom and she just like hands the vice grips into the shower curtain or whatever. But she sees the blood, and you don't understand. I mean, if anybody has seen, like if you get a cut on your head or whatever, it's just fucking guts.
Yep.
Gushing.
Like that.
Yes. Head wounds bleed bad, and add water to it, it's worse.
Yeah, and there's blood gushing down my neck, gushing down my. I mean, and she sees that, and she's like, "Oh my God, Dad, are you okay?" So she tears, and she just sees me sitting there, and got blood gushing down my back. And she gives me the vice grip. She's like, "Oh my God, shut off the shower or whatever." And I'm like, "Well, I can't. I'm fucking still bleeding." Blah blah blah. So I lost my thought.
No, so okay, so what?
Did you get stitches?
Okay, so
so she's like, "I'm Dad. I'm calling the ambulance. I'm like, "No, don't call the ambulance. Please don't call the ambulance.
Please don't call the ambulance."
I got
like a real man.
I just took the vice grips and shut off the shower,
and then you clamped the
put
wound
the towel
closed.
on my head. Yeah, and I put pressure on it or whatever, but so yeah, I mean, it was fucked up. So then when I got out of the shower or whatever, and I dried off and I stopped the bleeding, and I got pretty blonde hair, and the whole back of my head was like blood red. My hair was stained red.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, and so Anna's like, I bet you hydrogen peroxide would take that out. So I'm like leaning in the kitchen sink, and she's like putting hydrogen peroxide in my hair.
Oh
to get
my
the blood
gosh!
stains out of my hair.
How old is Anna?
So,
how old is she?
16.
Yep.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
So that was an adventure. Yeah.
Did she look at your head to make sure that it doesn't need anything? Like, I mean, I'm sure the hydrogen peroxide.
You're not bleeding now.
Yeah, it's like a 1/4 inch cut on my head.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is
knows a lot about head wounds.
Don't soap both your feet.
No.
Don't soap both your feet at the same time. I mean, unless you have a different moral for the story. What's your moral?
Maybe it wasn't as funny as I had in my head.
No, that was
No,
great.
that
My
was-
moral of the story is, yeah, don't soap both your feet when you're in the shower, because that's exactly what happened. Like
Yeah.
I soaked one foot up, and put it down like normal, and then I just
You didn't rinse properly. That's not normal.
lifted up my other foot.
Yeah.
Happens really
So
fast.
I yell at my
so
kids
now-
for that
you know,
shit.
it's
I'm like,
fucked up now.
don't soap both your feet. Go ahead, Ryan. What?
And now I have to replace the shower head in my fucking shower.
All this extra
And I don't know
work.
how to do it because I've already had it torn apart. And I put it all back together with like PEX tubing and like clamps and shit like that. So now my shower faucet is broken and I'm gonna have to just tear my whole fucking surround fucking thing out and replace it because it's already been torn out once. It's been broken. So now I'm gonna have to tear that whole fucking. It's gonna probably cost me $1,000 to replace.
Oh my gosh! You should just be in the woods camping with the raccoons. Seriously.
I know. I ain't going into the woods.
You're safer out there.
This is why I live in the woods, man.
This is why I live in the woods.
It's so much simpler. It's so much simpler.
Yeah. There's no soap
Except
in
for
your
the
feet.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, thank you for your story. I am so glad that you're
That's all I
okay.
wanted to say.
Thank you for sharing. We love you.
Yeah.
Goodness, I'm so glad you're okay.
I'm dumb. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm when you said you hit your head, I was very, very concerned. So
Well, obviously he's okay because he's.
it can only be an improvement. Did anybody else hear that?
No, nobody else heard that. I just ended it.
He said it.
But
can
I
only be
want
an
everybody to
improvement.
know that if you ever have a story that is as dumb as Ryan thinks his story is,
It is a
let
great
us know
story.
about
Yes,
because we will
it's
bring
not
it on
dumb.
because that was a
It's
great story.
fantastic. That was a great story. So if you ever want to share a 5-minute story and you think like, oh, I don't know if that's good or not, do it.
You can't.
Do
you can't.
it. Yep.
I have
Do
to go
it,
to
do
bed.
it. Yes.
That was not even allowed to have.
Yes,
that
was
story.
not allowed to happen. But Raja, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna talk. We're gonna get a group together and do a chit
Our
chat.
people call your people.
Gary says tales from the tales from the peroxide.
All right.
All right.
Because
Yeah,
I know Raja is gonna have like really cool stories.
I know, right? And we're not gonna.
I know for a fact because I saw him on Derek's show, which he's watching tomorrow. History of the World.
Well, it's the with Jack Black and Michael Cera.
Oh, the new one. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, Diego's on Twitter. It's
Dan,
like
you're going
Diego for Liberty or something like that.
to a place with running water or no running water. Is there a place for you to poop or not? Do you have to make your own poop place? I need to know these
I'm
things.
gonna find this for you real quick, and then I'm going to bed.
Year 1. Thank you. Year 1.
Yes. Diego #4 Liberty on Twitter. But yeah, I know Raja's got because he was talking about stuff. He's got stories.
Yep. So we're
He's got
gonna
shit
have
flying at
you
his
on.
head.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna talk. Absolutely. Okay, so this was a good show. It's
Yes.
already 12:15.
Yep,
Poor Dave
it's
has
over.
to work. Yes. I have
The
to be
show
good.
is over, guys. What are you still doing here?
Thanks for being here, y'all. I love you so much. Yes.
Constitution lady. Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
No, I don't think he's on float. yet.
He needs to
Wait,
get
he
on
might.
float,
He,
though.
no, he is on float.
Is he on float?
Because he came to watch one of our shows on float. Let me find
Did
him real
he?
quick.
Was he on float?
Yeah, he
We will
doesn't
play an
done anything
outro
with
song,
it.
Raja. We're gonna play an outro song, or probably normal outro song.
it's a
So
normal.
you'll get to hear that. Yeah. Good night, Keith.
It's Diego #5 Liberty on float at Diego
We've
5
been
Liberty.
terrible about the drink counter, Gary. Links. What do you want links for, Felice? You want links for all the things? Anything.
But yeah, he hasn't done
Dave will
anything
drop him in
with
the
float. He just came to
comments,
watch one of the shows. Actually, he's just following us and Carrie Wedler.
Yeah.
Carrie's on float? I don't think she does anything either, though.
People need to be on float more. Diego's
Yeah, she hasn't
accounts.
done
Okay,
anything.
so where can people find?
Well, Diego's on. Diego Rivera is on Facebook. No after party. I gotta.
I'm never going to remember. How about Dave posts them tomorrow,
Yeah, I'll share all this shit. on
and
the
then I'll
page
make
tomorrow.
sure to tag you in it Felice. He'll find them, and then, you know, because I know, like, I get it. Oh, play some Lil Dicky. I know we can't, though, because we're on Facebook still. So.
All right, good night, guys.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you Sunday night for movie night
Bohemian
over on
Rhapsody.
flote.app.
Float.
And
FLOTE.
we're watching Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
If I can find it somewhere on Sunday night there.
You will find it.
Tuesday night is another exclusive float night where we just hang out and do whatever the fuck we want. And then Friday night, we're always on all of our platforms.
Yep.
If you guys are on anything that matters, where algorithms work, make sure you hit that react button.
Some kind of react.
If you're on YouTube, there might be a couple people left there.
Thank you, Felice. Thank you.
Like the stream.
I'm better in my head mentally. I'm like, oh wow, don't have such brain fog.
See, I held off
but
for all the kids and you to feel better, so that I can have a proper man cold.
So we can all take care of you. Yeah, I have never been sick while all three of my kids are sick.
It was
like
a
rough week.
And then Dad's just running shit everywhere.
Yeah. But
you're like, they're all still alive. I'm like, all right, I'll change the trash.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to. Like I kept just feeling so exhausted. I just like pass out. Yes.
So the pink dildo.
Thank
Is
you.
there a pink dildo?
We had it too last weekend. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you guys are feeling better, Felice. It is a rough summer cold. I'll tell you what.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that is such a bad. Oh boy, that is such a bad.
On float.
Flute on flute.
Studio 8424 always like does a screenshot of us when we're streaming, and it's like he just like whatever's going on, click screenshot, put it up there.
Mary's probably raging about the government.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I can't believe that. Oh, been dead since. Oh, see, yes. I feel like yesterday, I sort of got mental clarity again, and today I was just like, wow, the brain fog has kind of lifted, but I still can't like be doing a bunch of shit. Like I'm trying to do stuff around the house, and I'm like, whew, I'm like winded. I am winded. I hate that. I hate being sick. I'm a terrible sick person. I'll take care of everybody else.
Ooh, grass-fed lobster.
Oh yeah, grass-fed lobster. That's right. Where did that come from? Voluntary spiritualist Dave, I'm going to send you a mixed bag of hot peppers next week. Okay, so seriously though, our kids are scared to death of Dave eating those peppers.
Oh,
voluntarist.
No, they were crying
literally
the night
crying,
before.
Crying.
They made me lie to them.
Like, Dad's gonna eat up. What are they called?
Carolina Reapers.
Carolina Reaper, because they've seen people eat Carolina Reapers.
Yeah,
they watch YouTube.
David's watching Rhett and Link eat them, and they're like having the worst time of their life. And I'm like, I really don't need to hear this right now because I'm totally going to do this.
Yeah. And we might possibly have a friend come on who's gonna eat a Carolina Reaper with Dave.
Elena is like me, like she's a Pollock. She's a Pollock in her
chasing
soul.
that heat dragon. She's chasing that heat dragon ever since we had that spice. So what's gonna happen is Dave and Lena are gonna eat the pepper, and then Matt and I are gonna host the show.
We're gonna cry on the floor in the background or something.
Yeah, yep. But the kids were like having panic attacks.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna die.
You guys built it up too much, and it's because
I didn't build it up. I didn't even.
It's because I had such a bad reaction to the chip, and it was just a bad situation. My stomach wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I love the heat.
That's
I enjoy that adventure.
I told the kids. I was like, he didn't pregame. He didn't eat enough carbs. He just drank 4 Loco. Like,
yeah, and then
ate a fucking hot chip from Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
David's still kind of like,
you should have warned me, Dan.
I like Dan's coffee. Our oldest, he's like, I like Dan's coffee, but he sent Dad that chip. So
right now, if like anything happens to me, my kids are coming after you, Dan. Like, my name is Indigo Batoya.
No,
you killed my father.
It's not going to be. No delay in heat. Okay, so it's going to happen right in their mouth, huh? Sounds so bad.
No, he said he ate like 3 of them. And I'm like,
tell me, voluntarist.
No, it's going to be an adventure. We're going on an adventure.
Yeah, the kids are afraid their dad's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we saw that one guy the two guys, the guy from the Hot Ones, and then the other guy who's like named after a fucking pepper, eat them, and then like they were eating them, and they're just like, oh, and then they went on like a ride, and they're just like barfing after like they couldn't talk anymore. So, I don't know.
I never said any such thing, Ryan.
Dan says, I'll send you another chip. Don't eat it.
I remember they were selling those things at Tops at the grocery store. No warning, no nothing. Just, here's the chip. You guys want something spicy?
On an end cap at Wegmans. It was just like, hey, 1 chip challenge. Here's this chip in a coffin.
See, and with the chip, I never had...
It was after Dave did it, and we're like, how can they not have a label on this that says, like...
The chip, I never got round 2 because I threw it all up. Like, my body just purged it out.
Yeah.
So I got to taste it twice, but I never got to feel it.
Out the other side. So, but yeah, that's what made me nervous, though. What makes me nervous is because you barfed it up and you were laying on the bathroom floor saying, I almost needed you to call an ambulance because it got up in, like, you know, like...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember any of that. It's like childbirth.
It's childbirth.
I'm ready to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
It's magical.
But he liked the heat. He loves the heat. It's just when it hit his stomach. You can almost see it. I feel like I don't want to rewatch that. It was right before my 40th birthday, and I continued to interview Dan while I'm listening for you upstairs. Like, is Dave still alive? But I saw it, like, hit your stomach, and you were just like, oh. This is it. Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. We have to end this.
That kind of adventure, Celeste. Yes. Okay. So, Ryan can't wait to get back here. We can't wait to have you, Ryan. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Yep, we'll see you
Sunday night. Movie night on Float.
Good night.
I don't like your T-Series. Nothing personal, kid. But I must go all out. Just this once. Bob's or Vagana, whichever will it be. Set the fuck down, T-Series, I'm here to spill the real tea. You tryna dethrone me from spot on number 1, but you in the year you lose, so best think you haven't won. When I'm through with you, we're gonna be completely fucking done, cause we only just begun. I review you, 0 vibe is gone. So come on, T-Series, looking hungry for some drama. Here, let me serve you bitch lasagna. Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. T-Series ain't nothing but a bitch lasagna. Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. Look at T-Series, they just crying for their mama. Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. T-Series ain't nothing but a bitch lasagna. Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. T-Series just wet themselves in their pajamas. So who the hell is Bob and why you wanna kiss him? Ew. I'm a blue-eyed white dragon while you're just dark magician. Oof. You got a fifth of the population in your nation, but I got 90 rolls the world's a whole, your defecation. Oops. Multipatlo, what the fuck is that even supposed to mean? Your language sounds like it come from a mumble rap community. No papa, yes papa, Johnny. Now download the sugar and let's throw this fucking party with some bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. Look at T-Series, they just crying for their mama. Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. T-Series ain't nothing but a bitch lasagna. Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. Look at T-Series, they just wet in their pajama. Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna. T-Series ain't nothing but a bitch lasagna. You got a population of 1.32 billion, but most your videos can't seem to hit even a million. Support!
Magic potty baby, your bottle's all done. It's potty training time, will be so much fun. I help you with your training pants, you make me so proud. Your potty feels like magic, then it flushes out loud.
It's fun to help Magic Potty Baby learn to use her potty. Flush and you're ready for next time.
Magic potty baby, I'm so glad that you're mine.
Magic Potty Baby and her Magic Potty. No water, no mess. Batteries not included.